Who that family? Check out the Pro Shop. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. And remember, it helps the platform continue to grow. Check out the Pro Shop and who that too.
You're listening to the Pelicans post-game report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
And injuries or not, there are three fundamental issues. Every time we really put it together on the defensive end, it was more attributable to the fact that we showed incredible resilience, fought through injuries the way we did, which is something I think we're really proud of, quite frankly, but it never really coalesced in winning basketball. And that's what we're here to do. So I'm really, really disappointed that we are in this situation. We did not intend, certainly, to miss the playoffs. That's not our goal in any way, shape, or form. I think there are a lot of reasons for what happened, but primary to those, if you look throughout the course of our season, injuries or not, there are three fundamental issues that this team needs to address moving forward. And that's going to happen on our level off the court, but it's going to be top to bottom organizationally. And it's going to be built into the player development programs as well. We've got to address our basketball IQ, our toughness, and our shooting. And I think those three things really revealed themselves in the fact that while we were talented enough to build double digit leads, we also blew more double digit leads than any team in the league. We had double digit leads 14 times in games we didn't finish. We were 2-11 in games decided by 3 points or less. Those are things that you cannot do to be a winning basketball team. Again, there are reasons for that. We are a very young, developing team. We did not have players that, while they have incredible talent, we don't have the winning medal yet. And we know that to some degree. We know this is a process and it takes time. But we also have to take a look at ourselves, both front office, coaching, players. Is what we're doing working? Are we doing enough for the group to be accretive to winning? And that's really what our focus is going to be. The level of accountability we're going to hold everyone to is all about winning. We've already shown we are an incredibly talented group of young men. We've got two all-stars, 23 and younger, and Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson. That's something very few teams can say they have. We've got really high character quality veterans around them. We have players that want to do the right things. We have young players that are about the right stuff. And what we need to do, and this is exciting for me, I think the injuries really slowed us, but we're not slowing down off the court. This is when we get to really put the pedal to the metal and build this team in a way that makes sustained success possible. We need to make the pieces fit a little bit better. I think you all could see that this was a rather wonky group at times for coach. We didn't have enough shooting for him to play versatile lineups. We didn't have enough attention to detail. And because there weren't really any 5-on-5 practices, and I can't explain what that really means to people that aren't really basketball fans. But when you're not getting to address on a daily basis you do wrong as a young team, actually work on those things, it makes the coach's job almost impossible. I felt like Coach Van Gundy and his staff, they only had 2 weeks to get ready for training camp with the season starting as quickly as it did. 2 weeks together as a staff to even put their hands around this group. It
Let me stop it right there. Big ups to the flock, man. Much love to the flock. We in the building. As we start the broadcast with Van Gundy, I mean not Van Gundy,
He
the
might as well be Van Gundy, Big
the
Q. He's speaking up
Pelic
for him.
the Pelicans general manager excuse letting straight off the bat, and this is what I told the family members that they would do off top is that they'll come in and they'll excuse make, and that's what this guy is doing. He's talking about the C-19 not having enough time to do this, that, and the third. But then the question is, then how did everybody else who made the playoffs succeed while your team failed to?
Big Q, that is mind numbing.
It's just ridiculous, man. And the flock and people are, not, we're not going for that, man. We're not going for that level of bullshit, man. David Griffin, we've been warning y'all about David Griffin and this man who speaks with two tongues, with forked tongue, because one he lies with the other side and kissing ass with the other side. I mean, the bottom line is this is repugnant. Now, that's about as much as I could stand to play from him. As he talking about the restrictions and the time frame. Miss me with that, bro. Explain to me how the Lakers made it. Explain to me how the Grizzlies and all the rest of these teams getting into the play-ins and all and setting themselves up for the playoffs. All the teams that made the playoffs straight up. How about the Atlanta Hawks? How the Atlanta Hawks had a losing ass coach, made the switch mid-season, and Nate McMillan took that team and put them into the playoffs. When everybody dealt with the same stuff. We did not deal with anything that nobody else wasn't dealing with. So miss me with that. But I don't know how the people can relate or understand how difficult it is to make it next to impossible for the coach. So you mean next to impossible? So you got a couple of dozen people on teams that's doing next to impossible shit right now. Miss me with this nonsense,
Pretty much,
man.
They got 16 next to impossible teams, bro. I mean,
Bro, what kind of stupidity is this?
It's 16 of them, bro.
Man, listen, bro.
Next to impossible, bro.
Listen, let me tell y'all something, Flock. You won't get it like this nowhere else. Because everybody out there, they're going to pick up the line with what Griffin was talking about. They're going to pick up his line and say, well, it is the C-19. Well, Q, the C-19. And da-da-da-da. And I'm like, man, use your goddamn critical thinking, man. That's not the case, man. This team failed. And then he talk about shooting. I got to give credit because even the people, the beat writers, the Pelicans beat writers, overall, this unit from last year was by far to me the best group of writers that I ever seen covering the Pelicans. They were on point. They were focused. They were hard hitting with questions. They were unrelenting. They wanted to see the team succeed. They just didn't want to see them fall through the flow. They were highly critical of failing garbage time play from the players at times. They put people on beam and spotlighted people like Chief Bleeding saw. They really, really laid it out. Statistically, really intelligent. So I got to give them credit. This thing that what you talking about with shooting, they said that. If you go back and look it up when the season started, those beat reporters were saying that the Pelicans needed shooting. And I was saying, no, fundamentally wise, they play defense. They shoot a higher clip from the free throw line. And they don't turn the ball over, they'll get into the playoffs. That's what I was saying. But they were saying, I got to give them men and women credit. They were saying the Pelicans needed shooting from day one of the season. They did not have enough shooting. Now, how does that make you feel that they were saying that before the season started, and this man telling you this at the ass end of the season when it's over with, and then talking about you got a good group of guys and such and such. Them guys wasn't listening to Van Gundy, man. How you explain injuries and all that? No. Go look at the games most of you already have. This was repugnant, DC. I'm gonna let you have the flow, bro. Go ahead.
Yeah, it is, man. But I mean, we knew this was coming. We've been preparing y'all. I've been giving y'all the David Griffin excuses and damage control
Man, we've
mode.
been warning y'all
Basically,
about that. He came with it
letting
all.
y'all know what was gonna come. They was gonna talk about COVID. That Q would be going off, and I would ask him, Q, you don't think Stan Van Gundy will get it better when they get more practice time after the restrictions are lifted and blah 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 blah? Which ultimately, I think it will get better, honestly. But I mean, it's kind of hard to get worse than what we experienced this year, if you won't really be honest. But all the other teams in the league found a way to get by. So it's really no excuse. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get to Zion interview at some point. I like what Zion had to say because he basically, if you would have let the David Griffin interview keep playing, he talked about how we were so close. We were so close and all of this, and we were right there, and blah blah blah. And then Zion came right behind him, was like, "We wasn't close. We let everybody down. We failed. Like this was a failure, basically."
Amen to
And
that.
that's what it was, man. I mean, if we would have made it to the play-in and not the playoffs, you have a little bit more leg to stay on, stand on, which I was thinking could possibly happen, and I wouldn't consider the season a failure if they at least made it to the play-in. You know what I'm saying? But to not even make it to the play-in, I mean, come on, man. They got it set up to where you got what? You got 20 teams can make it to the play-in? Like they've expanded it from 16.
Thank you,
I
Josh.
mean, there's no reason
Josh,
for that.
Josh said the Knicks made it. DC, the Knicks haven't made the playoff in several years.
Yeah, say
The
less. Say less.
the Knicks made it to the playoffs. The Hawks, who were failing, they were like a 500 sub 500 team. They made a coaching change, and Nate McMillan took that team and they exploded into the playoffs. You know, this team could not ever get to 500. We had a difficult time reaching 500. So, and I told the family, I said, this what kind of bullshit general manager you got, as opposed to coming out and saying, listen, we did this, we did that, we got to fix this. This was terrible. This, that. Don't miss me with all the accolades about this person did that and the third. All that you calling success is a failure if it did not get the team to the playoffs. It was a failure. Whatever accomplishments, and I'm talking Zion too, whatever accomplishments individually that was done during the season is a failure because it did not ultimately get the team to where it's supposed to be, which was a playoff, something we haven't seen in New Orleans since 2017, 2018.
2018.
So when it comes down to it, this is all a bunch of bunk. And that's about as much as I can stand from David Griffin. Because we
Well,
told
you even let him get a minute?
oh no, that's about enough. Man, I ain't gonna
Hey,
let that man pollute the brains of the flock with that other nonsense. We know what
oh,
he
well, come
gonna say.
on. They bulletproof over here, man. The flock know what time it is, but like you say, we already know what he gonna say. He gonna come with a bunch of excuses and basically a bunch of smooth talk. You know how he do. If you listen to him and you turn your brain off, it sound real good. Oh, that shit go down smooth. But I was telling Q, it's like microwave food, man. Like, if you eat it fresh out the microwave, it's good. But boy, you let it sit there for about 15 minutes. Oh, that shit is horrible. Like, man, somebody tried to feed me some cardboard. You
That's
know what I'm
like
saying?
McDonald's fries. You let them sit, boy. You
Yeah,
get them, and you
they
leave them
look the
McDonald's
same.
fries.
They
You
look
leave
the
them Mac.
same.
You leave them McDonald's fries there. Let them hard boiled. Nothing eating that. The microbes and ants. Nobody touching that.
Rats ain't gonna mess with them.
None of
Nothing.
it.
And,
None about it.
rats eat plastic. They eat through your wall, but they won't eat a McDonald's fry. Leave that shit alone.
And that's exactly what David Griffin is. A McDonald, old used up McDonald fry. That's what he is.
He about
But
the
I'm,
same color. He is. He the color inside a potato.
I mean, but listen, man. The bottom line, this is just ridiculous, man. To keep it real with your family, it's utterly ridiculous what Griffin's talking about, and it's
Why,
just
why,
it's
why
that.
we can't just have it real, man? That's all I want. I want a GM who just gonna come out and tell me the truth, man. I want a GM who keep it real. I want my coaches to keep it real, the players keep it real. Just tell us the truth, man, and nobody won't be trying to stomp on necks. We call y'all if you're playing bad, you got to do better, woo, woo, woo. But when you sit up there, you try to lie to people and you try to sell them something, and you clearly see the people ain't stupid. Like, you know what time it is, bro. Why you keep coming with this regurgitated nonsense? Because
Right.
at the end of the day, bro, we it pisses us off to have to deal with that. But when we being honest, man, Zion then won 61 games, and ain't even played in a full 2 seasons. You know what I'm saying? KD was around. I seen his little stat. Somebody put it up on Twitter, but it's true. Went back and looked it up. KD, his first year, only won 48 games. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, he didn't have David Griffin as his GM and this wonderful organization as the Pelicans.
Oh,
But anyway, just saying all that to say, man, it's a little rocky getting things started. But if you want things to go where they're supposed to be, man, you got to keep it real and you got to be honest with yourself and stop beating around the damn bush. We knew we needed shooters. Like, say y'all couldn't get shooters because y'all thought JJ Redick was gonna fill in and we was cash strapped because we made unnecessary or bad trades in getting Steven Adams and Eric Bledsoe, and it didn't fit. It was a wonky fit with the team and blah, blah, all this shit dancing around. What happened? Well, you made the wonky ass team. So why don't you talk about some of your wonky ass moves specifically and own up and to fault for that, specifically. I think that would make people a lot more trusting of the organization and kind of tap into the vision of where they're going. I have people believe into it, man. But when you try to sell us a bunch of bullshit, not a vision is we need shooters, Q. we knew this shit in 2019. Like,
man, the reporter said that
we need shooters.
We covered this. If you go back to the very first opening shows from the Pelican post game report, we were covering the beat writers that were writing saying the Pelicans didn't have enough shooting. They were saying that. And I was saying, listen, we are fine. I was saying we're fine if we just get with the fundamentals, which if we were fundamentally sound and we were hitting our free throws, we weren't playing better defense, we were respecting the ball, not turning it over, you'd have won at least 8 more games than what you did, which would have put you in position to be in the play-in or get you into the playoffs. But we ultimately failed. But people going to necessarily the default method of why the Pelicans fail. We don't have enough 3-point shooting. That's the quick response. But if you get intricate, it's not just the 3-point shooting. It's really on top of that. They don't have to be the league's top 3-point shooting team to get somewhere. The Pelicans failed is fundamentalism. They could not hit free throws consistently. They could not play defense consistently. And they couldn't respect the ball consistently, meaning they keep turning the ball over. Those are the 3 things that killed you. You didn't hear Griffin say nothing about fundamentalism. You didn't hear him say about none of that. And all of the non-fundamentalism was a result of the teams turning their ears off to Van Gundy. They wouldn't listen to Van Gundy. Even toward the backstretch of the season, they tuned him out. That's the truth. So how are you talking about they're going to work Zion, point, I won't see more point Zion, all this kind of stuff. And by the way, Training Langdon didn't even say nothing.
Treasure didn't even have a.
He didn't even have a. So isn't that something? See what I'm saying?
Bro.
You see what I'm saying? That's the gesture. This is the fight.
What if Trajan Langdon
didn't say nothing, DC?
No, he didn't say nothing. But what if he really felt like us? And Trajan Langdon would be a good GM if he would be given the reins. You know what I'm saying?
DC, man, you covered this, and they overlooked it.
Look at what he did with Brooklyn, man. He was the guy over there with Brooklyn.
You're right, but remember we talked about this when he was in the news trying to get the general manager job in Sacramento. Remember me and we blow the whistle on that? Right. I said, bro, something wrong here.
Nobody else even talked about that. I didn't hear that in the Pelicans media or nothing. We was the only one talked about
all the ones I said, DC, listen.
Nobody even paid attention to that.
They didn't even look right past it. I said, listen, bro. Trajan Langdon is looking to get the job, the general manager jobs with Sacramento. Hold on, he just got here. What you doing as a finalist? That shows you because something
hands tied, bro.
Something wrong here. Griffin can't keep his hand. We got a bullshit bootleg Jerry Jones operating here at the VP wants to be the general manager, but if the team failed, he got a lackey or a guy you can blame for why the team ain't doing too good. That's what Trajan Langdon is. And if Trajan Langdon is listening to his message, let this message, you know him, put this message to Trajan Langdon and tell him, listen, tell him, let you be the general manager or give your resign papers today because you are being set up to be the fall guy. I'm going to tell you something, Trajan. You're being set up to be the fall guy because if the team is failing, they're not going to fire Griffin. They're going to fire your ass. You are being set up to be the fall man.
So either tell him to get his hands off the controls and let you run the team, or you could take that job and tell him stick it up his ass. Because the bottom line is you are being set up to be the fall guy. How at the end of the season, and we keep dropping the facts about this Pelican shit, is that this dude, get it, Pelican shit, get it, bird shit. Anyway, but listen, the bottom line is we keeping it real and letting y'all know that Langdon didn't even have end of the season press conference. Didn't even address the press conference. Didn't even say something with everybody, all the players, even James Nunnerly was had a press conference when they asked, what the hell he doing up there? What they gonna talk about him mopping the floors tomorrow? I mean, all of them had press conference, but Langdon, who's the general manager, was nowhere to be seen. See, I keep bringing this up. I jokes about it, but I'm just trying to bring light how dysfunctional this shit is. But DC, I'm gonna let you comment on that, bro, and then we're gonna spin these. We got a couple of more interviews. I got the Zion and the BI interview that I want to get to, and then after you give your analysis on that, maybe a couple articles if we have time, and then I'm open up the chat for the family members. Go ahead, my brother.
I mean, I just wanted to comment on your analysis, man. Your idea that Trajan Langdon could actually be a lackey or a fall guy, and it reminds me of the Alvin Gentry situation. Like when we knew Alvin Gentry should have been let go as the coach. You know what I'm saying? And they kept him here in case things went left or whatever. They could have that excuse of having one more year, which basically is what happened. So it's like when you had that type of thinking, though, man. If that is true, which it strong possibility it could be. I mean, what you're saying makes perfect sense. Then it's like you went into the thing thinking you was gonna fuck up. Like if you got to have all these plan Bs and stuff, you knew you was gonna make a mistake. You know what I'm saying? And the thing I don't understand is why have a general manager and a vice president of basketball operations, and the vice president of basketball operations acts as the damn general manager or speaks as if he is the general manager, and the general manager acts how the vice president of basketball operations should be. You don't hear from him. like it don't make no damn sense. Why didn't we just give Trajan Langdon the title of the vice president of basketball operations and just give David Griffin the title of general manager? I mean, it would save us a whole lot of conversations. We wouldn't have to keep talking about this shit, how it don't make no sense and it ain't dysfunctional, because that's basically what's going on. You know what I'm saying? And he did try and go to Sacramento. And when you think about it, can you really blame the man? If he trying to implement some stuff here and he trying to get players here that he know will work and fit with what he does, he basically set up that team in Brooklyn, got them good enough to want KD and Kyrie to go over there.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Nobody wanted to go to Brooklyn. Nobody wanted to go to Brooklyn before that. It was all type of connections with them dudes, possibly going to the Knicks and a couple of other teams. Nothing about Brooklyn. Brooklyn was over there, got D'Angelo Russell from the Lakers. Everybody thought he was damaged goods. Got them to build some stuff around him. Dude found Spencer Dinwiddie and Karis LeVert. You know, and what's the guy with the phone? Jared Allen. You know what I'm saying? What was it? Tayshaun Prince, all these little scrappy guys, man. And they was over there competing in the playoffs after they basically gave all their draft stock to Danny Ainge. Got murdered in that trade and shook back like that. You know what I'm saying? Trajan Langdon was a guy over there with his hands in the pot doing that. You know what I'm saying? And we got David Griffin over here. It's obvious which moves are his because all I got to do is look at the correlation of what they were doing in Brooklyn, you know, around that time period when I knew he was there, and then look at what they was doing in Cleveland when David Griffin was there. What's David Griffin call it called? Trades. He going to go out, get veterans, get players, do trades. So Steven Adams and Eric Bledsoe is specifically on David Griffin. Stan Van Gundy seems like a David Griffin hire. You know what I'm saying? The J.J. Redick idea to trade him away from guess who? Brooklyn, where he wanted to go. David Griffin idea. Wouldn't it have been easy for Trajan Langdon to trade J.J. Redick to Brooklyn if that's really what they agreed upon and all that? But we ain't getting all that. You got to do something for the team. I ain't just trying to send you where you won't go for nothing and be left on the hook. But the whole point I'm trying to make, man, is how we have a general manager and he's not allowed to do his thing and shape and mold this team the way he sees fit. David Griffin should purely just be there for input and some advice, like an advisory role. I shouldn't see him leading the charge, man. You get too old for this shit anyway. Let a young man general manage the team, bro. And if you're gonna get behind the mic and just sell us a hill of beans, like Q would say, like I'm tired of eating them goddamn beans, bro. I need some steak, some fish, or something, some chicken,
Some giblets over there, bro.
some
You be all right.
giblets. I'm ready to eat. I told Q I wasn't gonna never eat no goddamn giblets. Ready to eat some giblets and some shit, man. I don't want no more of them damn beans he's selling, bro.
Well, listen, bro. I can tell you, bro. It's quite comical if you ask me, man, because you know they act like they talking to people that's sleeping. All the rhetoric. You what was it, DC? You was double digit games underneath 500 talking about get. I mean, listen. Let us remember what was said to
We was close.
let
We was close.
You 10, but yeah, we was close. You 10 games from 500. Talk about you were close.
What were we close to?
But we were cute. We only needed 4 or 5 games. Boy, that might have been 20 games. You need 4 or 5 games. That might
I know what he was
where they
talking
were
about.
playing.
He was talking about the points per game and points against numbers we kept looking
Oh
at. We
my
was close.
goodness. Listen.
We was close to getting them even. That's what he was talking about.
But DC, that was well said. What you said about Griffin's input, messing around, doing what he doing, bro. But that's absolutely ridiculous. Like I said, if you look up the press conference, you can go back and look. Langdon is nowhere to be found. He's the general manager of the team, and I make
That's
jokes.
not good, Q. Langdon might be gone, man.
Bro, I'm making light of it, but it's my way of bringing attention to it as opposed to just blowing up over it. So I make Miami memes. I do my Stranger Langdon mom thing when he's looking through the window. You can't hear what he's saying, and then he got to lift. He has to lift the window down.
It's a goddamn bus window, Q.
Yeah.
You gotta put it
Yeah,
down.
because it's the bus. Because it's a Greyhound. He getting the hell up out of here. He waving goodbye. But I'm just saying, at the end of the day, it is what it is. Because I'm just saying, pointing it out. That makes him look incredibly weak. It makes him look ineffective. And I was thinking about it, it's like the way this Griffin set this up purposefully, because if the team fails, they will fire the general manager before they fire the vice president of basketball
He look
operations.
like he gonna leave before they get a chance to do that.
But see, he's smart. That's why he was trying to get out before, because he was promised that he would be the general manager. But this coach is not Stranger Langdon's pick. Will Weaver was his pick. We know who the coach was supposed to be. If Weaver was the coach, you have a different outcome because Weaver's a better communicator and closer to the age of these players. He's a better communicator to the younger players, and he is a young prodigy coach. I mean, I'm telling you, he's going to be a really good coach in the league. He wins everywhere he goes because he knows how to communicate. He's not overbearing like Van Gundy is. And Van Gundy has a great basketball mind, but what good is having a basketball mind if you don't have a basketball communication set where you can relay this beautiful basketball mind to young players to make them believe in you?
We expect them to be mind readers, Q. If you had mind readers, you wouldn't have to worry about this.
Well, listen, DC, we're gonna let them say it from their own mouths and hear what they got to say. So we're gonna set off first. Which one you want to hear first, DC? Which you want?
I want to hear big time first, bro. We got to go with the superstar first, and you got to put one A and one B. You know what I'm saying? Zion 1A right now. So
okay, DC, we're gonna go with Zion first. This is Zion's thoughts.
We got Ingram for 5 years already. We need to hear everything Zion said.
Here's Zion, fam. Y'all put one in the chat if y'all can hear that.
It's disappointing. I'll be lying to you if I say anything else. It's very disappointing. But the best thing we can do is regroup, come together as a team, and come together as a coaches this off season, and talk and do what we need to do to be better next year. I mean, there's not much to it. We just got to be better.
How frustrating was it for you to not be able to finish the season on the court? And how is your hand feeling right now?
My hand's feeling a lot better. And yeah, I mean, obviously, it's very frustrating not be able to, finish out the year. Watch from the sideline, not be able to affect the game, very frustrating.
And for you, how do you feel about your coach on the defensive end this year, and what's it going to take to get to you there?
I feel like I did grow a lot defensively. Learned a lot from Coach Bob and Coach Gundy, but you know, still have a lot more improvement. Still have a lot more things I need to be better at. I'm gonna work on those.
So, Zion, I have two quick questions here. I know that you did the interview with Malika Andrews where you talked about some of those old school point guards about playing point guard. Is there anybody you'll reach out to this offseason, or what will you do to kind of maybe further your growth in that area? And I do have a follow-up at the end of that.
Um, I don't know. I probably will. I'm not gonna say any names, but I probably will. Hit up a couple people. Because I always like nitpicking people's minds. So I'll just go from there.
And my follow-up is regarding Team USA and this summer potentially having a chance to play in the Olympics. Have you thought about your health, or if you're invited to try out, and how that may all shake out this summer if you have the opportunity to potentially play in the Olympics?
Um, I think it'd be a great honor to be a part of the Olympic team. But before I make any decisions, I'm going to sit down with my family and discuss what's best for me.
People have talked about a lot of your areas of improvement that you made from your rookie year to this season. Is there anything specific or one area that you are particularly pleased with in terms of just the strides that you made from the beginning of the season to the end?
Um, yeah, I was happy that the world got to see a little bit of my ball handling ability, my playmaking. I was very happy about that because I feel like people didn't really think I had any skills. So I was very happy to showcase that a little bit.
What did you think of your free throw jump that you made percentage?
Uh, I was real happy about that. Me and Coach Fred, and me and my stepfather. Uh, we put in a lot of work on those, so I was happy to see the improvement.
Zion, Griff just kind of told us, he said like three of the big areas he wants to improve this offseason: basketball IQ, toughness, and shooting. Do you think if those three things improve, when you think of the priorities for this team can be, like, do you think those areas would kind of get you to the next level? Do you sort of agree with that assessment?
Um, you said IQ, shooting.
Basketball IQ, toughness, and shooting.
Oh, I mean, yeah. I mean, I think those three things would help, but I don't think those are the only three things. I think there are definitely some other aspects as a team, with the coaches and everything. I think there are other things we can focus on to be better, but those three things are a part of it.
He's on Brett here with AP. When you look at the final standings, just 2 games behind San Antonio, and losing 5 of 6 at the end with all the injuries, and then during the season, all the close games. How close or far do you think this team is from making that jump to a real playoff contender?
Uh, you know, uh, my stepfather he just taught me different. Just kind of doing the same thing over and over, uh, expecting a different result. But it's kind of insane. So I'm not gonna, sit here and say, we're close or this. The reality of it is, it was very disappointing not to be a part of the play-in tournament and stuff. But we just got to come in and just be better. That's just me being real.
We've talked a little bit this year about the growth that you and Brandon have made. Stan mentioned earlier how Brandon's points per game has gone up on the floor this year, as you two have learned. With a whole season now of really playing off of him, or playing off of each other, I should say. What do you think about you two as a duo, and where you guys can go and take this team?
I think we're a great duo. I think we've grown a lot together this year, on the court and off the court. But, at the end of the day, me and Brandon both share the same goals of, winning. So I know that me and Brandon are going to get together a lot this offseason and, talk about what we need to do to be better and work out together. Because like I said, the reality of it is we want to win, so we gotta put in the work.
And with Lonzo being a restricted free agent, there's a chance he may be back, he may not be back. What do you think about the idea of him being able to come back and continue to grow with you guys too?
I mean, it'd be dope. I think me, Brandon, and Zoe, three of us, we have a great relationship. Um, I really would want Zoe to come back, and he knows that.
This All right, that was the Zion interview right there with Zion breaking it down, and I cut it right before it got to the part where he's about to actually talk about wanting uh, the ball to come back. But DC, what's your thought process on what he said, man? His feelings on it. He was visually upset, as you could tell, especially sitting there watching the team fizzle out. Remember, the Pelicans lost 4 straight games to close out the season and finish a laughable 31-41, 10 games underneath 500. And they were it finished fourth in the Southwest only because Houston only won 17 games on the season. They were a dumpster fire. DC, quick analysis on that before we play some BI.
Like you said, man, the man, he's disappointed. Like he said, obviously upset. Doesn't like losing. I like the fact that he's gonna work out him and Bi in the off season. I thought that was dope. I thought it would have been a lot better if they tried to do that last year. I would have thought that had been something they would have did. But maybe they build a better bond this year and are obviously embracing him kind of being that lead guy and Brandon Ingram being a little bit more of the second guy. So I think that'll be a big step. Obviously he wants Zoe back, and man, that's a real interesting dynamic. The more you start talking about him, I know we're gonna get to that, but I'm really excited for what Zion can do. I think he wants to be here, and he's giving them a chance. But obviously, if we keep having seasons like this, man, I mean, if we have another season and it's the exact same thing like this year, next year, I mean, he probably would be on his way out. And how could you really blame him? Because we would have clearly flocked it all up. But I don't think that's going to happen next year. I think if they do get rid of Lonzo Ball, we're going to have to really sit down with him and Brandon Ingram and figure out, that other guy or a guy they would want, man. We need another player that's capable in case one of them go down that could easily step in and they still had that 2-man game. So very, very kind of ho hum, man. And you could see it's a little depressing, looking at him because he was visually kind of hanging his head every once in a while. He look up and smile. When I watched the interview live, I seen him. He looked very excited. And I mean, how could you, when knowing you could have went to the play-in and possibly still be playing ball right now on the biggest stage, and you sitting in front of these reporters answering a bunch of questions you probably don't even feel like talking about. And then after hearing what David Griffin had to say, you know what I'm saying? Who knows if he was sitting in the room for that? So you talking about how you couldn't take no more and you had to cut it off, and we wasn't really crazy about hearing it. What the hell was Zion thinking when he was listening to it?
Yeah, it's a joke, man. This is year 2 of Zion being here. Year 2 of David Griffin being here. 2 failure years. 2 failure 9 playoff years with David Griffin at the helm. A lot of dysfunction in the top of the offense.
Basically the same record.
Yeah, it's
we could have did. We would have had a better record with Alvin Gentry because we would have had the consistency at least.
It's strange, and I think a lot of it's because we got a lot of character flaws in David Griffin. He needs to get out of the way. He is he's a hog he's a camera hog.
No.
He's
a camera hoe. Call it what it is. Don't call it no hog. Okay, well, camera whore will be politically correct.
Yes, I don't know if that's politically correct. That might be a little harder than but he is that. He's every
I
bit
said
of
the
that.
other version make it a lot shorter. But
Yeah, he's definitely that. He can't stay out of the way, and you got a general manager who does not handle. It's just more proof to what we've been just clearly saying here. So we're gonna play. Here go Bi coming up next, fam. We're gonna get Bi in there. We're gonna play a few minutes of Bi's interview. We'll give some analysis on it. Then we'll open up the chat for conversation from the family members. During that interview, I'm gonna drop the link so the family members can line up. I'm gonna try to get everybody in. So please feel free to express yourself and give another family member, another flock member, an opportunity to jump in and give your analysis on what you guys feel needs to be done with this team. Hey, man, whatever you want to drop in there, go ahead on and drop in there. But just think about your family member, Pelican flock member behind you. Here's Bi. His thoughts
young guys
on
on
the
the
game.
road
Here's
here,
Bi.
a lot of whom showed individual growth. Just why do you think collectively you guys
Put one in the chat if y'all can hear, fam.
you guys wanted to end up?
Well, we had more losses in the columns than wins, of course. I think this was a learning experience this year for us, figuring out how to win basketball games. Trying to figure out how to stay consistent on the offense and defensive end every single night, and having a winning attitude. I think we learned how to win towards the end of the year this year, but it just wasn't as consistent as it could have and should have been. But it's all a learning aspect to where we want to go.
I remember after you won Most Improved Player, you talked a lot about just the freedom you got. That was a reason you feel like you were able to make those strides. Do you feel like you had that this year?
I feel like I definitely had the freedom to make strides. I think we could have did a better job of this year of making everybody a little bit more effective on the offense and defensive end, putting guys in better positions to be who they are. But this year was just so condensed where we had to throw everything in, and it couldn't have been simplified better than what it was. So
Oh, man.
learning experience for me. Of course, with our offense how it ran, our defense how it ran, and ways that it could get better.
Yeah, what's up, Bi? I know you're big on the journey and the steps it takes to get to where you want to go. So I guess what do you think this year will represent as far as the growth in your career and the trajectory of where you're going?
Well, for my goals, I think it's fuel for me, because I'm actually I'm not I'm not sure disappointed is the word, but I'll say it. I'm disappointed in my play, and of course the result at the end of this year, because of how good I know I am and how good the team can be. So it's only fuel for me to be better, even better next year. Not having an excuse of anything that I can do on the basketball floor, just doing everything on the basketball floor and being smart and adjusting the defensive, adjusting the offensive, and just being better all around.
And where does that disappointment kind of come from?
Just me having a mindset of just trying to be a killer on the offense and defense end. Knowing in most games that I have mismatches, but not taking full advantage of them every single night. On the defensive end, some of my letdowns, I want to be better on the defensive end. So it's just a part of me just making goals and trying to attack them with something.
Yeah, ABI, speaking of this summer, we were talking to Z a little bit earlier. He said that he expects you guys to get together a lot this offseason and talk about things and work out together. Can you just shine a little bit of light on the conversations that you two have had in trying to grow together as the two pillars of this team?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've grown closer. It's crazy to say, but actually, after we were out at the end of the year, having a chance to actually watch the game a little bit and see how we were effective in the offense and trying to be more effective on the defensive end. So our talks is just it may be different from everybody else, but we feel like we can score any time on the basketball floor. And we just know we have to get better defensively. We want to simplify the game a little bit better, conserve a little bit more energy, so we can be better on the defense. So the talks are just where we want to be this summer, the ways we want to come back in for next year, and just having the guys come together sometime this summer so we can get the best out of each other.
Do you think that's going to go a long way between you guys working out together or gathering everybody on the team together to have like some sort of informal, but I guess like training camp to heading into next season?
Absolutely, I think it gives us a bit of a head start. I'm not sure any of the other best player of the other teams doing this, but I think it gives us a bit of a head start of what we're looking forward to in next season.
That's Bi right there. At least 5 or 6 minutes of that interview, where he's kind of, you can see a lot of these young players, they're disappointed. He was searching for the word, and I would have to say disappointment on the face of both Zion and Bi during these end of the season uh, press conferences. This team was booted. The disappointment is because this was a playoff team that failed. And you got the players that sound more sensible. Of course, he did drop the stuff about the restrictions and all that. I don't want to hear all that, bro. I don't want to hear that. I'm sorry. I don't want to hear all that.
He said he was ready for next year, so they don't have that excuse to lean on.
Yeah, but
That's
I'm
what
not.
I heard him say.
Well, I'm not giving.
He popping a shot at David Griffin, in my opinion.
Listen, David Griffin is trying to save his own ass. This is season number 2 of David Griffin's failure. He failed last year when he had Gentry here. This is another failure, and he handpicked this guy. This was not Trajan Langdon's guy. And I'm telling you, Trajan Langdon is the fall guy that they're going to fire before they fire David Griffin, using this man as a fall guy. So if the team fails again, they're going to look to make a general manager move, and it'll be either Van Gundy's neck or Trajan Langdon's neck. He's smart enough. That's why he was trying to get out of here before. He's not letting him be the general manager. This coach is not his coach. And it's too much dysfunction. How are you picking players for a coach and he's not even involved in the process of the guys? Like with KLJ. When they asked him about KLJ, what you think about, did you like KLJ? I didn't have nothing to do with that. Which would explain why he had no incentive to play him early. It took a lot before KLJ was finally to make it. It's just a lot of dysfunction, man, at the top and bottom. And I wonder if they can get through the dysfunction. They're too busy involved in spin to know. That's why do they have the competency to fix what's going on? I mean, it's not hard. But if you can't keep it real and you're in a state of delusionment, delusion's going to keep going. And they can't keep it real. This is Van Gundy, and it's a lot. But anyway, listen. Let's get into, I got the link in the chat. If anybody want to pop in, feel free. You pop in, say your words. We'll be here up until maybe about 10 o'clock, and then we'll pop up off this thing. So we'll try to fit as many flock members as we can into the mix. So if you feel like you want to drop by, there's a link in the chat. It's pinned at the top of the chat if you guys want to pop in and spit your game on the Pelicans. If not, if you don't feel like talking, we will, pop up your commentary on the screen. So a big ups to the rest of the flock. True. Thank y'all for being here. A lot of smart commentary in the flock, by the way. Tramal says Gundy didn't even draft this player. I know
last time he did that, it went left in Detroit. Oh yeah, that's some real spill right there. And I don't think Bledsoe gonna be in the starting lineup. I seen something where they talked about all the guys coming in from last year. It was like in this article that the Pelicans released, and they had everybody's name in there but Bledsoe. They put his name. They had Willie Herman Gomez. They had Najee Marshall. who else, man? Like all our auditions from last year. I think they had Kyra in there. They ain't had Bledsoe, and they didn't have William Gabriel either. So I was like, William Gabriel might be out of here too.
Well, we'll see how it all goes because some of the cheaper players, I think they'll have an opportunity to come
He
back.
got a player option. I mean, he like 1.7.
Yeah, a lot of these guys like
Ain't
James
that
Johnson,
high.
most of these guys, a veteran like him, I can see these guys coming back because they're cheap. Kevin Johnson said, "What's up, Kevin?" He says, "Big Q and DC it's irresponsible for Griffin and Van Gundy. They kept Bledsoe in the starting lineup or even on this team. Yeah, and that's a lot of that was on Van Gundy. Van Gundy.
I think it was on David Griffin too.
So
Bledsoe is David
Griffin
Griffin's guy, man. He is. Like he had him in Phoenix. And I remember he came from the Clippers. He went to Phoenix, and they made him the cornerstone. The cornerstone
No, you
player
got it right.
in Phoenix, man.
The hood corner store.
Cornerstone.
You got it right the first time.
And David Griffin was the GM over there. He had a lot of input, if I'm not mistaken, if he was the GM. And he was his guy, man.
Let me ask you this,
perfect
DC.
sense.
Let me ask you this. Remember, think back to Cleveland before, and we'll say this, and then we're going. There's several Pelican flock members that's lining up. Got brother Kenneth, State of the Pelicans with DJ and Iceman chiming in the flock. We get you guys in here and get you a commentary on here. But remember, go back into your basketball brain for a second. Remember what the Cleveland Cavaliers looked like when Griffin was over top of them before LeBron came back there and saved their asses. Remember, they had Kyrie Irving there. They drafted
Kyrie Irving and Deion Waiters.
They hated each other.
How you draft somebody that can't? You didn't think about that?
Drafted Deion Waiters first. So Waiters was a first round draft pick. He was a baller. Then he drafted Kyrie Irving, and those guys hated each other. But if they could have worked together, it would have been phenomenal. But the mere mentality that he would draft two players that can't work together. And then if it wasn't for LeBron coming back to Cleveland to save their asses, he wouldn't have had that championship. So is the LeBron thing, is David Griffin, and I already know the answer to this, but I'm just throwing it out there to the flock to think about it, because if he was as fantastic as we are making him out to be, this is season number 2 with Van Gundy, DC, and it's another failing ass season. So, I mean, this is pathetic, man. All right, we got, what's up, young blood?
Q, we had one more win than we had last season. That's a success.
Okay, there you go. That's a sustained success. Big Q, DC, don't you think Billy Hernan Gomez and Jackson Hayes can hold down the center position next season? Can we let Steven Adams walk? We talked about this before.
I said Steven Adams should start the season. I think they could use more tutelage from him and still let him help them out. But by the All-Star break, I think we could look at possibly moving Steven Adams and being able to let Jackson Hayes step in and do his thing, a combination of him and Willie Herman Gomez and whoever we draft, because I think it would be wise for the Pelicans to draft some type of big man, or at least a guy that could play 3 through 5, some type of hybrid, or get a center that's good enough to play power forward. That's what we need, in my opinion, unless you just got an amazing backcourt player or a wing guy you can't pass up on that falls to you wherever we're in the draft. But I think that's definitely a good idea, and I actually see that as a strategy for the future, as one of the positive things of the Bledsoe and the Steven Adams trade. I think we will use them as salary filler to make a run at a more top tier player, a name, which is the same thing I guess we was doing when we got them. We was going after names. Even though I like Steven Adams, I just felt like him with the combination of Eric Bledsoe was stupid. If we gonna bring Eric Bledsoe along, then we need to get a different type of center than Steven Adams, or vice versa.
All right, appreciate that, DC. Okay, we're gonna bring in Brother Kenneth first, and then we got DJ, State of the Pelicans, and then the Iceman lining up, family. So gonna bring Brother Kenneth. Brother Kenneth, welcome to the stream, bro. How you doing tonight?
What's up? I'm doing good. What about y'all?
Welcome to the show, brother. Appreciate you. What's on your mind, Brother Kenneth?
Nothing much. I just wanted to thank y'all for this great year I had, man. Y'all really got me through the whole year. Pandemic lockdown. Had something to look forward to every night. Wasn't having much going. Had to get laid off of my job and stuff because of the COVID and stuff. So I just had nothing really going on throughout the year. And having y'all every night, having something consistent, since I really couldn't go to work, and then y'all was really there for me. So I'm thanking y'all for that.
Well, appreciate you, brother Kenneth, and much love and blessings to you, brother. It's like I always say, bro. When the door closed, another one open, bro. And you just endure a little bit, bro. And blessings and greater things is on the horizon for you, my friend. So we appreciate your support, being here as well, man, and all the great commentary that you bring with you during these games, bro. So the flock is real, bro, and I appreciate that love and much love right back at to you, my brother.
Also, Big Q, I heard you say you had a record label, and I just wanted to get your thoughts on before I get to my Pelicans thoughts. I just wanted to get your thoughts on like the top 5 rappers. You and DC.
Oh,
Man, that's a tough one, bro.
yeah.
Top 5.
Yeah, or y'all could do like an East Coast, West Coast thing, or it could just be top 5 overall.
Is it current guys or just period? What you mean current
I
or
said
just
all time. I'll say mine. My top 5 is number 1. I'll say Kendrick because he's just a different. I feel like he's just a different out of anybody I've ever heard.
okay?
Then number 2, I'll say Pac. Number 3, I'll say Andre 3000. Number 4, I'll say
That's a
Busta
good
Rhymes.
Mhm.
Number 5, I'll say Jay Z.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty good. Well, my top 5, bro. I mean, I got in no particular order, bro. It's hard to rank them, man, as great as they are, man. But I'll give you some of my 5 favorite ones that I like, and it's a lot of them, man. But Pac is obviously up there. Big is up there. I like, I was into a lot of awareness rap back in the day too, and I listened to a lot of the local stuff where I was from. You had BG and the Cash Money Crew. Then No Limit came on the scene, and you had a lot of local cats that we showed a lot of love to as well. So, but Pac, BG. I mean, some of the stuff I used to listen to, like J. Rue the Damager, Gangstar, and all kind of stuff, man. Far Side, I remember Far Side in there, Souls of Mischief, all kind of stuff, bro. I can go all kind of, I can go, way I'm just a brand newbie and all that kind of stuff. I used to listen to all that, bro. But currently, man, like I like the Outcast Camp, Underground Kings, UGK was there.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Underground Kings is some of my. I still listen to some of their stuff. Matter of fact, I was cruising listening to something Pimp C, a song with Pimp and UGK was doing. I always got to carry my gun or something. I forgot the name of the song, but y'all probably remember. But it's a lot of one, bro. Scarface, a lot of them, bro. A lot of from DMX. I mean, it's so many of them, bro. Jay Z.
Oh, to put a 5.
Yeah, it's a lot of them, bro. Jay Z, because he dropped a lot of good work. It's a lot of really good. T.I. is another guy that I like a lot.
T.I. is pretty good.
T.I. was he is really, really talented guy. Like I said, it's a bunch of them, man, that I came up listening to, bro. A bunch of them. So many of them, bro.
Yeah, man. I don't know if I could do a top 5, but I wouldn't consider this my 5 favorites, but I'm gonna just try and name a few guys that I know Big Q didn't already name. I gotta give a shout out to Mystical for one. Like, I don't know how many people understand like
he was another one.
How influential he was, not just in New Orleans, but just rap, period. Like the way he would rap fast and in his little cadence, and he would yell and crack jokes and do. Yep. There ain't never been another one like that, man. So you got to bring up Mystical. Definitely got to give Wayne props, even though like I feel like he's one of the best to ever do it. I just wish he would have had way more music with content, even though he does do that. A lot of it's just like punchlines, but they crazy, they bananas. So gotta definitely give him props. Lupe Fiasco is a guy that I always like too.
Lupe, yep.
You know what I'm
saying?
Kanye, gotta give Kanye some props.
I still listen to old Kanye stuff, man.
Oh yeah. Kanye is definitely
Juvenile,
dope.
Yep.
Juvenile up there, BG, Soldier Slim, all that. You got to get him some props. Just that the whole thing of having rappers with a vibe and a little lyrical, but not the most lyrical. But they just had a swag and they come through with that. Young Jeezy, Nas. Yeah, I don't know how the hell we forgot Nas. Like what I'm saying. That. You even got to give Eminem some props. You know what I'm saying?
Eminem,
for what he could do. I like Royce the 5'9" is dope, which I think him being in part of that process helped make him and them.
You listen to Yuck Mouth and them back in the day. Well, when he left the Loonies and signed with what was that, Rap a Lot? When he got on Rap a Lot, I was listening to Yuck Mouth. He had some good work there.
Yuck Mouth be doing podcasts and everything now, bro.
Twister from
Twister
Shot
love Twister, man.
DC's cousins, Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Crucial Conflict too.
Crucial Conflict,
Can't
all
forget
that.
Crucial
It's
Conflict,
so many of them, bro. It's too many of them.
I think one of them cats, he's still putting out music from Crucial Conflict, and it's good too. I forgot his name, man. Damn, I forgot that brother's name, man. But man, there's so many of them, dog. Kendrick, Jonah Lucas,
J. Cole,
is dope. J. Cole, who y'all keep saying I look like. You know what I'm saying?
D1 is DC.
J. Cole. J. Cole is one of the best, you know.
J. Cole getting better, man. Better. He always getting better and better, man.
Man, and I still for Talib Kweli, you know what I'm saying? Most Def.
Black Thought. Come on, man. The
Black Thought, right.
Common,
man. There's so many of them, man. Honestly, I don't feel like there's a such thing as the top 5, bro, because there's just too many great.
You can just go through and listen to at any time of the day. Like, you know, this top 5.
Andre 3000 got to be up there for me, because I feel like without Andre 3000, you don't have Lupe, Lil Wayne don't sound the same. Kendrick Lamar is not even an artist without Andre 3000. There's so much Andre 3000 and Kendrick Lamar. Like it's man, there's so many great artists, man. Music to me is relative, man. You can't really put a number on these guys. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got their own lane. Like, if you truly great and you're original, like, there ain't no number nobody could put on you. You. So who gonna be a better you than you? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel that.
Skip Marley.
Skip Marley do got a song I like, though. He got that Slow Down Baby. That's a nice little song. I like that vibe.
You gonna like yourself. Go ahead, Kenneth. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead and speak your speech.
You know, I've been thinking about it. It's just been frustrating me. I feel like it's not even just David Griffin or nothing like that, but it's just the Pelicans organization overall. I feel like we don't really have that, like, culture. Like, it seems like other teams, they'll go through the draft and they'll pick, like, they'll develop, like, I can't really say, like, if I have a few teams, like, they'll just, like, Orlando Magic, they'll go in and they'll draft a big man and they'll develop a big man. I feel like every year or something like that, they'll get a big man, or every few years they'll get a big man and they'll develop that big man. Or like, we don't have a key position that we feel like we need to draft every year and that we build around that position or something like that, or like a offensive scheme or like a defensive scheme. I feel like every time we get a new general manager, we switch up our whole culture or something like that. And I feel like that's what we're really missing. Like, every year, like, I don't know if it's too late now to, like, build that culture right now, but I don't know. I just feel like we're not going to be nothing until we start with the culture first. Or, like, what is our identity as a team? I feel like the Lakers, you know, they got their identity. So the Warriors, they got their identity. The Rockets, they got their identity. I feel like we just missing that identity as a whole, and I just haven't seen to find that yet. Like, it seems like we'll pick a point guard, we'll pick a big man, but, like, we never really stick to something and then try to be good at that one thing. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's just been frustrating me lately about this organization.
Yeah, man, I totally agree, man. Culture is everything. But before I go to that, I got to name one more rapper, man. I forgot. I can't believe I forgot, because I listen to this dude a lot. B.O.B., man. I can't leave B.O.B. out. I cannot leave B.O.B. out. B.O.B. is fire, dude. One of the best ever. But anyway, without building a culture, man, to me, that's the foundation for the house. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to lay the frame. You got to lay the concrete. So if you don't have all that in place, you know what I'm saying, you won't have an identity. Like you said, everybody will come in and they won't know quite how they fit, because there ain't a way of being that's conducive to everybody that they already involved in. So people just trying to figure stuff out, or they going to bring what they got from somewhere else. And it's just this mismatch, and you get kind of what we getting. You just misfire. But I think that's one of the reasons they wanted to get rid of Drew Holiday. And we was talking about the whole Go Young thing and all that. I'm hearing an echo, man. You got YouTube on, my brother? see. Yeah, it's
You
still
all right,
going
Kenneth?
on. I guess it's all right. It's just on my end, I guess. I don't know.
Are you still here, Kenneth? Yeah, it's an echo coming some kind of way, bro. You got your
You
thing
got
on
your phone on speaker or
on loud?
something?
Yeah,
There you
Yeah.
go. It's
All
still
right.
echo.
All right.
Well, go ahead, DC. Just finish up your commentary, bro, if you can.
But I was saying that that's an excellent observation, man, because culture is the root. That's the heart and soul of the team. Like our mantra, we couldn't even live up to. Won't bow down, man. We bowed down and laid out red carpets and put rose petals on them for so many teams, man. We gave games away, and our mantra is supposed to be won't bow down. You know what I'm saying? So it's like whatever we did to enforce that, you know what I'm saying? It really ain't working. It really ain't working. So I think that's a job that's kind of on a vet. You know what I'm saying? We got to find a vet, which I think we have one. And y'all already asking questions about pushing him out. I don't know how he lines up with New Orleans culture, but Steven Adams seems to be a great teammate and somebody that you would want other players to mimic, being as selfless as he is. And we can see he's teaching Jackson Hayes, man. He ain't holding nothing back from them. Most guys would, kind of temper them guys down a little bit because they don't want them to take their spot. So Steven Adams is a guy I think we could use to possibly bring in the culture, but you're probably gonna need somebody else along with that. But we need a vet to implement that, and they also have to be on one accord with the front office. If the front office can figure out what that chord is, because we don't even know shit. We don't. We can somebody ask Trajan Langdon? He probably got the perfect answer because that David Griffin won't bow down shit did not work. So we had to change that slogan and everything.
It worked in reverse, is what it did. 'Cause they most certainly did bow down. They did, and
And we got punked. So we can't go
and
Stan
both of those,
Stan Van Gundy one either.
and they got punked. They had absolutely no heart, not enough heart to produce a winning season
Yeah, I
anyway.
wouldn't say they had no heart. That's a little rough.
Hey, a little rough. They sit up here out the playoffs. You trying to talk about a little rough
No,
damage
no, no,
control?
no, no, no. Nah, ain't no damage control. They didn't have enough heart. I wouldn't say they didn't have no heart. They ain't
I
like
said they didn't
Bruce
have enough
pushovers.
damage control. I said that they didn't have enough heart
Big question.
to get to the play. All right, Kenneth, appreciate the call, my brother. Thank you, man, for your support and everything. Much love to you, bro. Thank you, and keep your head up, bro.
Saucy said no heart without Josh Hart.
No heart. I like that. I like that. Big up.
Facts.
All right, fam. So we're gonna move on to the next family member. We got chimed in here. We got DJ coming up next. DJ, welcome to the show,
Hey, I
fam.
was calling it. Like damn.
Yeah, no, I
They
said
got two of me.
no. You're damage control. You're not DC
Okay.
Nah,
or D1.
yeah, I heard DC is D1, bro. What's going on?
He's definitely D1.
I'm D1 called damage control tonight, apparently. What's up?
No, that's not tonight, DC. You've been damage control for quite a while, bro.
I ain't been damage control for that long. I just put out that fire you was causing the other night. That's how I got that name.
Go ahead, DJ. What's on your mind, bro?
What's going on, people? Zebra, I agree with Zion and Bi, bro. I mean, like, you know what? I always talk to Kevin because I need a co-host on my show as well.
Oh, okay. GM Kev?
Yeah, Jim Kev. And he always say it always starts with the front office. Once we get the front office dealt with and situated and stabilized, then we can actually draft and get pieces around Zion and Bi. I mean, that's my take on it. Like I said, I mean, it starts with the front office. You got the GM. He really don't say nothing. At least if he does, it's when the cameras go off. You got the operations general manager. He don't know what the hell he doing, and everybody else is just don't. They don't know because they don't know nothing about basketball. So my thing is this: I have a question. My question is, can we cut Eric Bledsoe? Like, pay him his 16 to 8 million, and cut him. Because I mean, I'm looking at I don't know if he's a shooting guard or a point guard, but I'm looking at the one of the LSU guards for our team. I'm actually looking at people mock draft, and well, I'm technically not home, as you can see. I'm right here by the beach, but yeah, we can trade Steven Adams. He don't really. William Henry Gomez, he averaged a double double damn near at least every night. So that's my take on it.
So you want what's that's interesting, DJ, because the way we see it, man. If you take a look at what getting rid of Everett Bledsoe, I got Sport Track up on here, and this is for the Pelicans right here. As you can see, Steven Adams is at the top of that bunch. As you can see, his base salary is $27.5 million. Just to give you a guesstimation, not a guesstimation, but the actuary statement or statistics here on the numbers, as you can see. And you can see Eric Bledsoe's third there at 30 years old. Base salary sitting up there at $16.8 million per year. And he have a cap figure of 16.8, a dead cap of 16.8 as well, the same salary. So it's a lot of money tied up in him. And then of course you see James Johnson at 15.7, Lonzo at 11 right now, Zion at 10.2, yada yada yada. But you see James Johnson money fall off there. Bledsoe is still, I think he's on the books for an additional year. I want to say next year is his final year. And nobody's going to take on Eric Bledsoe unless he's given a trade. You're going to have to give up a draft pick. It's almost reminiscent of when the Pelicans, under the stewardship of Dale DeSimp Demps.
It ain't. That was worse. That was worse.
Well, you had to put a pick with Amir Asik just to get him out of here because nobody wanted to take that contract.
That dude, $50 million, he couldn't even play.
Couldn't play. But this guy made it to the and that's the thing is my point was to keep the simp general managers out of here, because order to have a good organization, you got to have somebody at the top with brains that know what they're doing. And the Pelicans almost got there several years ago when Joe Dumars, who's from Northern Louisiana, was interested in taking on the job as VP. They created a spot for Joe, and Joe was negotiating with Tom Benson, who was cheap and did not want to pay that man the money, and we've been regretting it ever since. We have not had a consistent winning. Joe Dumars was worth that money. He would have came here and turned this team into a powerhouse. He knew how to draft. He knew how to.
Where's Joe Dumars at now?
I think Joe's doing television somewhere.
Oh, he decided to step away.
Yeah, but
people don't remember he set up that Pistons team that beat the mighty Lakers, Shaq and Kobe Lakers.
He really did. And Joe Dumars had success after that. He was very, very talented general manager, executive. We just didn't want to pay him, and we end up, look what happens when you don't want to pay for somebody good. You end up paying in the long run, as we are still suffering, missing playoffs. We made the playoffs one time in the last 5 or 6 years. This is just we don't want to get stuck in this rut. So I don't think the Pelicans offset Bledsoe without putting attaching a pick with him. His numbers were down this year. He didn't help us out, DC, in terms of having the numbers to move him to say, okay, he'll look good in my system. His numbers was down. He looked like he was half dead most of the times out there. His defense, was terribly inconsistent. We will have to attach a pick to move him, but the good news is we got 1,000 picks that we could attach, one of which we can attach to ship his garbage ass out of here.
We probably gonna have to give up that probably the Lakers pick, or at least 2 seconds or something like that to get rid of him, because that Lakers pick, man, obviously is gonna be lower than our pick. Probably looking at a pick around the 20s or something. I think if you attach a first round pick in the 20s, that would be enough to get rid of Eric Bledsoe. To some team, maybe a team like the Knicks, you know what I'm saying? If they go after Lonzo Ball and we wind up re-signing him, they could settle for Eric Bledsoe in a pick and draft another guy. So I don't think it's going to be that hard to get off of him, and I think the Pelicans they have to do that. Like they got to. Like there's no way they can repackage Eric Bledsoe to us next year and try to sell us on this shit. And you heard Zion say, I learned from my stepdad, and he said if you keep trying to do the same thing, that's a little insane. Like he telling you right now. He told you who he want back. He want Lonzo back. Pretty much after Lonzo, I'm pretty sure they were like Josh Hart, but everybody else in those players' mind is probably expendable if it's all about winning. They definitely he ain't saying he want Eric Bledsoe back. I'm sure, they cool and everything, and he don't want to put the man down. But he probably don't want him back, man. And I don't nobody in Pelicans nations nobody in the flock want him back. Like, what would be your excuse for coming back with this guy when you sitting on what 12 or 13 picks? You know what I'm saying that we got. So you gonna have to eat up that you made a mistake. You wasn't able to move him like you thought you was gonna be able to, and eat the pick and move on, man. So you got 5 picks out of Milwaukee, and you would have you gave up one of them to get Steven Adams, and hopefully we ain't got to give up one of the Milwaukee pick to get rid of Eric Bledsoe, because that would really minimize that trade and make it even crazier if that was the case,
But
man.
you know
It's
what though?
already bad enough.
But you know what, DC? I wouldn't mind giving up that pick because look how we found Najee Marshall. I mean, who else we found in the off season? Uh, well, Russell Wando, he came in the trade with James Johnson. But I
So
mean, look,
Wayne Gabriel
yeah, I mean, like, look how we found Wayne Gabriel and Najee Marshall.
and
So
Billy too.
him too. So I wouldn't mind if we gonna find players and like I won't say this, but just like the Saints, they find 9 wide receivers. Now somebody tell me we're not gonna use all 9 of them, but hey, some of we did find in the off season. Well, the undrafted free agent is what I'm saying. But I mean, we're gonna find guys like Najee Marshall, Willie Gomez, and all them people. I wouldn't mind giving up that pick.
No, I'm still not gonna be crazy about giving up the pick, because I mean it's a difference between finding undrafted guys as opposed to being able to get, an all star. Like most guys you find undrafted, you're happy if they're able to make the team. Let alone thinking about them being a starter. Every once in a while you find a diamond in the rough like that, and that's good. I think your reference to the Saints, they're probably a little more inept at doing that, and they also have way more players. So it's a larger swing they could take. With basketball, you got like maybe two guys you're gonna sign undrafted, and you got to hope one of them, paying into something, or both of them. But I wouldn't hang my hat on it, man. Usually with the draft, if you can get a first round pick and a high second round pick, you're usually able to, unless you just make mistakes and picking the wrong guy. There's usually top tier talent there, at least starter quality talent, especially if you're picking the top 20 of the draft. You're usually at least able to get a starter or a guy that can be a rotational piece. So those picks are gonna come in handy when money starts to come up. Let's say NAW balls out, Jackson Hayes balls out, and Najee Marshall, you know what I'm saying? And their contracts are up at the same time. Like we might be in a situation where we're not able to pay everybody, even though we like to keep all of them. If we ain't won a championship already, guys ain't gonna try to give let me take a hometown discount and all that. And you ain't no champion and talking about going back to contend or something like that. You ain't gonna be able to keep all of them, and that's really why all them draft picks come in handy. We set ourselves up nice with the Milwaukee picks because Milwaukee could be kind of fizzling out, and we could be in the need for them picks right when we get them, especially if we're contending, and the spots might be flipped a little bit from what Milwaukee at and what we at, and then we'll be getting their picks for 2 or 3 years down the line. So I'm not big on giving up a bunch of the picks, and you can make the same argument with the Lakers too. We still on the hook with them even after this year. For we got another 2 or 3 years where we tie up they draft. LeBron ain't gonna be there forever, and as you can see, AD is Mr. Glass, so they can't really count on him. We don't know what the Lakers gonna look like. So all of those picks, like in the future, as long as they hold on to them And if they give up, the LA pick this year to get rid of Bledsoe, if they attach a player, it better not be one of our top tier guys that got a lot of potential. I don't want us to get rid of no young guys we drafted in the last 2 years. You better be somebody on the end of the bench or something. They can attach one of those guys for salary cap purposes or whatever. However they're gonna do that. Which sending Eric Bledsoe, I think we got to take somebody back for salary cap purposes because that's a lot of money. But I think the Pelicans will at least figure that part out. And you can only flock up for so long, bro. We made a lot of flocking mistakes. I think we do a right move, just like we did with the Dallas move. I think the James Johnson move wasn't bad. I think that was probably the best you could do with the scenario, situation, and the timing of it. So going into the offseason, if they giving up a pick, I'm sure somebody wants it.
So
All right.
I got one more question, then I'm getting off of here. So what we gonna do with James Johnson? Because I know he came in a trade. I mean, how long? Do he have on the roster?
I think he has his option is up this year, right, Q? We have
It's
a
up.
player option on him. We could deny that and then re-sign him.
Yeah, I think they'll do it. I don't think $15 million is what you want to pay for James Johnson. I mean, we like what James brings, but you want to get a veteran at a lot cheaper rate than that with that kind of money there, man. To be honest with you, 15 million is a lot of money, man. That's we're gonna have to work that out some kind of way and find somebody that can give us that kind of value, but a lot cheaper. Because we need to be able to dedicate the resources. We looking at the player and talent. I'm just approaching it from a different perspective, man. Because you can look at these players and they most certainly had the talent to compete. But my mentality is with the VP / general manager David Griffin operating. He can't keep it real. I mean, and if he can't keep it real and tell us the truth, and he living in a state of delusion or at least lying to us about this, that, and the third, him actually being putting his team together using fall man Trajan as a side piece there. I don't even know if they know what needs to be done or if they can be able to fix it. I mean, that's the whole thing. Van Gundy is not communicating. His message is not getting through. That is a major component to why the team failed. He can't, is that message is not getting through. So what do? Do you get another coach or do you force feed them another dose of Van Gundy again? Where it failed. And that's where I stand. If they didn't listen to him in the first year, what make you think they're going to listen to him in the second year? And then while you're trying to figure that out, Zion Williamson is going into his third year next year and getting ever so close to get to, and that's what it's about to me. This coaching move, they're not listening to him. And I don't even know if they could figure it out. We could approach it and say, okay, we need 3-point shooters. But truth is told, like I keep saying, if we would have played better defense, not turn the ball as much over and hit a higher clip at the free throw line, those are all fundamental things. We would have been in the playoffs.
Right.
With the minus of the 3-point shooting. And then he was preaching these things to them, defense and all this kind of stuff, and they wouldn't listen. Even when urgency time kicked in, they still wasn't listening. So if you're not listening at the crutch of the playoffs coming in and this urgency there, what make me think you can get it a whole year? So that's where I'm at with them. They shut all Van Gundy, and I didn't think they would do that, but they just shut him the hell off. Big players, all that. Zion, BI, all them dudes, and he had to meetings with them so he can get them to do certain things, and that's not how you do it. You got to have team meetings because you can't just win with BI and Zion alone. You need a team effort. He still didn't find out what his bench was the entire year. He didn't put a serviceable 5 together off the bench. And all I hear is this asshole come out here with excuses about time restraints on COVID-19 and all this other bull crap, despite the fact that there are other teams. If that was the case, everybody's team would have failed. There would not be the playoffs would have looked drastically different because there would have been failure everywhere. Nobody would have had double-digit wins or 20 more wins than their loss.
Stop that. You know it was impossible.
But anyway, that's my
Hey,
spill on it, DJ.
BQ.
Well, go ahead, say your last thing, bro. I got 2 more family members that got to get on after you, bro. Go ahead. What you got?
Hey, bro, when you gonna let my man back on the show, bro? No point intended for DC, but when you gonna let my man Fish Gunner on the show, bro?
Who?
Fiskunic.
Fish
Fiskunic.
Fiskunic. When are you gonna get back on the show?
Yeah.
Oh, who you talking about, DJ?
You talking about Sway?
No, not Sway. General Fisk.
Oh, Fisk
Oh,
unit. Yeah.
Fish,
Oh,
Fish.
General Fisk. Yeah,
Yeah.
I meant, bro. I was supposed to get Fisk
You
on,
gonna get
man.
with the Saints, huh?
Yeah.
Well,
Fish love the Saints, boy.
Fitz loved the Saints. He liked to talk about Zion too. He loves Zion too. I was supposed to get Fisk on about a month ago, man. I just been doing all kind of projects, man. I've been busy. I'm gonna try to see if I can work that out with Fisk, man, to see if I can get him on in the next 7 days or so, man. Because Fisk would love to come on and talk about the Pelicans, man. You know,
No,
yeah.
no, no, no shout out to DC though. But hey, I'm getting on you this time. Next year, if you go to a Pelican game and don't call me or don't, we gonna have some words, DC.
Oh
We
Lord,
gonna
I'm
have
gonna,
some
I'm gonna, I'm
words.
gonna have to bring the boxing gloves, huh?
Yes, yes. I might get beat up, but hey, I might go 1 or 2 rounds.
All right, my brother.
Yeah.
All
I'm gonna hit you up next time I'm there.
Thank you,
All right.
DJ. Appreciate you, brother. All right, that's DJ. We're gonna bring in Julio. Julio, what's up, fam? Welcome to the show.
What's up, man?
What's going on, my friend?
Well, this season was pretty disappointing, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not all bad, you know? Like, we saw an improvement in the guys. Like, at the beginning of the season, we saw Jackson Hayes, and we were like, what is this dude doing on the court, right? And, like, right now, we want him to be our starting center. So yeah, man, there's an improvement. Definitely it is. And I would say like we need to get rid of Eric Bledsoe. He's trash, man.
Well, Julio, you're absolutely right, Julio. You're right. I mean, Jackson Hayes, man, boy, when the season first started, Jackson didn't know his left foot from his right foot. But I'm gonna tell you something, man. He stuck in there. I mean, he was slow on the rotations, and he had the energy and the effort that never weighed. And he just eventually he knew if you give Jackson the opportunity to stay out there, he would develop, and he'd really develop. And you're right. That is some bright spots to look at. Is the development of Jackson Hayes, NAWKLJ, to a degree. Lonzo stepping his game up if we can get him back. Hopefully we can get Josh back. So yeah, you're absolutely right. There are some definite bright spots as far as the players are concerned. DC, what you think about Julio?
I agree with Julio with Jackson Hayes, but a lot of that, man, is why I'm a little higher on Steven Adams than most people, because I understand what Jackson Hayes looked like last year and how discombobulated all over the place he would be. But you would see these spurts of just raw potential, uncontrolled though. Then I see Steven Adams. They're always talking. When Jackson Hayes and Billy Herman Gomez is doing well, he's the biggest fan cheering them on. And I think that guy has showed both of those guys a lot of stuff. So we just look at their production and how good they are. I think they have a lot of help from a seasoned vet and Steven Adams. And I'm a big component for guys, especially when you see they're not that athletic, but they just know when to be, where to be, how to be. You know what I'm saying? Those guys, if you take him and you put his brain in a guy like Jackson Hayes, or just some of that rubs off on a guy with all of that talent like a Jackson Hayes and all of that raw potential, man, ridiculous leaping ability, very fast for a 7-foot guy, actually can handle the ball. And then you start getting him to be able to cut. You know, we already know he can shot block, but he goes for pump fakes and all that all the time. Don't quite know positioning. Everything he don't know how to do that he can't just do off raw ability, he got Steven Adams there to show him. So Billy Herman Gomez, a similar thing, more similar to Steven Adams than Jackson Hayes. So I look at him and I actually like him being there, and I think we getting our money's worth because of that. You know what I'm saying? People feel like he was a bad guy to trade. I was mad we gave up that draft pick, but seeing what Jackson Hayes is becoming, you know what I'm saying? The guy's shooting threes now. He got a little jump hook floater. You know what I'm saying? He's doing spin around hook shots. I seen him do a fadeaway. He's dribbling at half court, crossing people and trying to get to the rim. He's attacking the basket, taking contact and finishing. You know what I'm saying? A lot of this he wasn't doing last year, man. But he still needs to work on his positioning for rebounding and you know, kind of knowing how to be a little more disciplined on defense. He still got to get that. So Steven Adams still got some more teaching to do, man. And I think by year 3, Jackson Hayes is probably going to be our starter, man.
Yeah, I agree with you, DC. Also, our second lineup, I think it's stacked, bro. Like they have Nikhil, Kyra, Nagy, Jackson Hayes. We're gonna have Didi, and I think James Johnson is expendable. Like
Where we going to
we
get that
also
toughness from, Julio? He the only one
Nagy,
on our team that's ready to fight. Well, I ain't
Hart.
gonna say that. I ain't gonna say that. I'm pretty sure a lot of them ready to fight, but far as just bring that crazy man temperament when stuff go a little awry, James Johnson is always in the middle of it. You need a guy like that.
To tell you the truth, I didn't like 100% James Johnson. Like he was taking hero shots. Like James Johnson shouldn't be doing that. Well, that's my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I ain't really see him take a lot of hero shots, but I definitely seen him taking shots like he was the guy. But in my opinion, it was because they at that time they would have guys on the floor that weren't willing to take the shots. You know what I'm saying? I seen him doing that when we kind of, you know, we got thin towards the end of the season, and we basically was surviving off of NAW, and they was trying to run sets through Eric Bledsoe. So when that was going on, I did see James Johnson taking what you would consider hero shots, and because of what I just stated before, like it didn't seem like that big of a deal to me. Because I know if the coach gonna run plays through Eric Bledsoe, and I'm out that shit, I'm taking some shots too. I ain't about to sit around and watch y'all run sets through him all game.
Yeah, man, you're right. And who do you want instead of Eric Bledsoe?
They actually have a lot of decent guys. I think they're free agent. Isn't the guy from the Spurs, DeMonte? I think he's a free agent, if I'm not mistaken. Is he Big Q?
I'm gonna have to check on that, DC.
You
I don't
got
know if
you got Kyle Lowry, who I don't want. There's a
he's
lot of smoke about Malcolm Brogdon. I think
I
that would
do
be
like that.
amazing.
That
If
I
I
do like
could,
Malcolm
he
Brogdon.
makes about the same amount of money as Eric Bledsoe.
But
If
if
I
you
could,
doing if you're doing that, DC, if you bring in Brogdon here, does that mean Lonzo's gone?
I think there's a way where I can bring in Brogdon and keep Lonzo, and then it also gives me supreme shooting, and I got two guys who can kind of go back and forth between
Yeah, they're very
point guard
interchangeable.
and shooting guard.
Yes, indeed. Very
We could
interchangeable.
basically do the point Zion thing and still have our same starting lineup. You got two guys that can easily convert into shooters and be shooting guards. When you get away from point Zion or Brandon Ingram ain't on the ball, you know what I'm saying? You got two guys you can pick and choose whether they be point guards. And I think he would be an excellent addition, man, and that would contribute to a median winning. If you could get him and keep Lonzo Ball, which I think is doable because you'll just be paying both of them like 20 mil. Ain't we already doing that? You know what I'm saying? Basically, you looking at Eric Bledsoe gonna be making what 22 next year, or is it 19 or something?
It
Then you
goes
trying
up.
to
Yeah.
then you're trying to give Lonzo Ball 20 million. I mean, the James Johnson, that's 15 million gone. You know, you got Didi, you got William Gabriel. If you keep him, you got Najee Marshall. You know what I'm saying? James Johnson can become expensible, or we can sign him to a cheap contract. But that's $14 million right there. You freeing up. You know what I'm saying? Steven Adams is going down to 17 million. Or you could look at you gonna possibly move him in that trade too and pull a band-aid on the Jackson Hayes soon. Jackson Hayes, Billy Herman Gomez thing soon instead of later. But it's a lot of ways I think they could go about making that happen. They still got the mid-level exemption too. I don't know if a lot of people are familiar with that. It's another way for you to get an extra what is it like $15 million? You get a player up to like 15 million, and it doesn't demolish your cap. So there's a lot of ways I see them being able to kind of work that in. They probably ain't gonna do what I'm saying, but that would be a dream scenario to me. I think if you had him and Lonzo Ball, man, that'd be a hell of a backcourt to pair up with Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson. And then, man, if Jackson Hayes keeps ascending and you got him at the center, that shit is a problem.
That sounds good, but when Saw is not in his days, you know how he plays.
When who?
Lonzo Ball, he shoots like 10 times from the 3-point line and he doesn't get a single shot. Man.
I mean, he
don't
has
get
game.
he don't get enough free throws, DC either, man. That's a great point.
He got holes in this game, man. But let's look at what he can do. I mean, if we look at the NBA and you look at any guy pretty much on any team, how many guys can shoot 10 3-pointers a game and consistently hit 4 or 5 of them? There ain't a lot of guys that could do that. It sounds simple, but the same thing we kind of ridiculing him about, and I think it's just because he becomes one-dimensional, really. But if you're taking 10 shots and you hit 4 of them, that's 40%. That's a great, 3-point number. So I think dude can improve a lot, and I think he will. We've seen him start taking mid-range shots. Lonzo shows a lot of development, and you can see things that he's worked on. But it's really a confidence thing to me with him. He just need a coach that can kind of unlock him. And I don't know if SVG was kind of really focused on that last year. And I told everybody like what he did with Dwayne Wade. He put Dwayne Wade at point guard before putting him back to shooting guard, because he was originally shooting guard. They made him play point guard to figure out how to facilitate. Then they moved him back to shooting guard and let him put it all together. If we keep Lonzo Ball, I honestly believe Stan Van Gundy put him at shooting guard to force him to be more aggressive in scoring, because he knew he can naturally facilitate, and maybe wind up putting him back at point guard. Just going off of history, he did this before. They say old dogs don't learn new tricks, so why wouldn't he try the same thing if he's seen an opposite scenario with a player and how much success he had in the past with a guy like D Wade?
Yeah, but SVG is rooting for Point Zion.
No, actually, he's not. He said in his press conference that he felt we got a little too reliant on Point Zion. So he likes Point Zion, but he wants to see it in doses, as we do.
Yes, not all the time. I mean, it's a balance to everything, man. That was to see it, at certain intervals of the game, perhaps. But it's a way to cover up the inefficiency of the Pelicans to run the point guard position in the proper way. It's just window dressing. It's like painting. It's not painting the right way. If you need to paint a building, you got to scrape off the old paint, and and then you do what you got to do. There's a process here before you put the new paint on there. The Pelicans just say, you know what, we're gonna paint this building and just start putting new paint on top of it. When they start chipping away, they like, what the hell happened? It's a process to this thing. Eric Bledsoe needs to be replaced, man, and that's what Point Zion is. It's way he does have the ability to handle the ball, but that's not what you want to see all the time. You got to have a guy that handles the ball on a frequent basis, and this guy has to be able to have access to the bucket, get to the bucket, have the freedom to be able to make the moves without having fear of the coach pulling him or pulling his time away from him, stuff like this. And I often seen that happen when you start seeing players flowing, and then Van Gundy pulls them out and put guys in there that's cold as a turkey.
Because they wasn't doing what he wanted them to do.
You see, and that's what I'm saying. It's other aspects behind, because these guys, every one of these players on this team have the ability to ball, or they wouldn't be there. Right. But it's upon the coach having the vision.
Poor Kyra, boy, they done that. He did that to Kyra a lot.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you're looking for somebody to attack the basket, the fastest guy you have is KLJ. That's his number one of his top talented skills is to get to the cup. And once he gets there, he hits his free throws. And he did not utilize that properly. You would have him stand as a stand-up shooter as opposed to using his speed. And see, I'm not a basketball coach like Van Gundy, but I'm intelligent to know to scout these players and know what their strengths and weaknesses are, and to tell you that this coach was not utilizing.
Ain't that what Brandon Ingram said, Big Q?
That is exactly what BI said. And that's what I'm saying. But see, it took the entire season of failure when we were yelling. And that's why I'll be frustrated sit up here blowing my stack on here because we constantly saying the same stuff over and over and over again, like I'm Bill Murray and Groundhog Day or some damn well, telling them the same thing, work your bench, fundamental. But we don't have the time. And then the whole damn season, hey, he talking about time. Notice he stopped talking about time on the back end of the season because the restrictions was lifted. And then Griffin come out and still say it was about the time, even though it wasn't. So, I mean, it's a bunch of nonsense and BS, in my opinion. These players are talented. You're right, Julio. There's a bright spot. But how bright is it with these players if the coach doesn't recognize the talents of the players and properly and functionally put them in the skill in the system where they can have massive success? Perhaps that's why they tuning his ass out. It's a reason why players, these guys have been groomed from the playground up. They went through the playground, middle school, junior league, junior high school, college, and then into the pros. So for years, they've been having instruction from a multitude of different coaches. For the youth, they go through all your young career and then turn off a coach in the pros. It's something's about that. Something's wrong about that. And see, they won't even, can they keep it real enough to address that? Or oppose or pretend like it doesn't exist.
I feel like that's on the coaching staff. Like when you have an excellent coaching staff, they should be able to spot that. When players start gravitating towards a teaspoon as opposed to a Van Gundy, and they Van Gundy say something and they looking at Fred Vincent trying to figure out what he think about it. You know what I'm saying? Like he would have to get with the head coach, and he would have to change the way you do things. Change your attitude. You gotta adapt. Like you gotta grow. You can't be trying to do things like you've always done them. These players are different.
That's a skill. That's a
It
skill.
It is. But how can you be a good coach if you can't adapt? That's part of being a coach.
That's why he was sitting out all those years, DC, and he took up a seat on the bench of broadcasting and was out for years. Adapting is a skill that you got to have. It's either adapt or die. That's how it works. If you can't adapt, you die, and that's what you see now. Him dying. Now he did shift and make changes, but it wasn't long-standing changes. He'll go back to what he was doing, which right. It's not real adaptation. True adaptation means you see what's successful and you go with what's successful and functional, as opposed to going back to what is in your pattern, your thought pattern. As well, this is what worked for me for years. So whatever worked for you for years don't work for you anymore. You have to change to what's going on today.
That go back to your coaching staff. You got to trust.
That's what I'm addressing.
The guys around you, and when they see you falling back into them habits, you got to be able to listen to them and trust.
Yeah,
them.
but are they pulling this coattail to the point where that type of stuff?
I can tell you one person. I'm sure. If nobody else, I know Teaspoon. She seems like she overspoken. Like I'm sure when she sees something, she just seems real. If she sees something that ain't right, she seems like she'll call it out. I'm pretty sure she said something. The way they clamor and all the guys love Fred Vincent, I'm sure he says stuff. It's got to be more than just him showing them how to shoot. Like the dude probably understands, and connects with them on a different level for his basketball, period. I'm sure he says stuff. I don't know a lot about Van Gundy's guys, but obviously, how you from Louisiana and don't know nothing about Teaspoon? And we've been Fred Vincent. We've been hearing about him since he got here. So I can't speak for everybody else. Learning process with them guys still. I heard Zion give shout out to Bob Byers and talk about a lot that he learned from him. It was 3 or 4 guys that Van Gundy had, from his old coaching staff, and Corey Brewer, I'm sure is another guy they got there to kind of help mesh that gap of young and old. But if you get a guy like Brandon Ingram that says we got to be able to utilize players better in their roles, to me that means all season. And I know he's talking specifically offensively. They were not happy, and you can see it, which is why their defense would wane, because they knew they had leashes on them offensively, or they were trying to do things that they knew a better way, or they felt they knew a better way, something that would work differently. And you see a little bit of the hero ball of Brandon Ingram going to his ISO game. I understand it now after him saying what he said. He, some of those sets and plays and stuff they wanted to run, he probably didn't believe in it. And you can't really fault them because when we was looking at the shit, we ain't believe in it either.
I mean, it's the how. No, it wasn't. They were he was ISO balling it, coming up, jacking up shots before people set up. That was his way of breaking out or rebelling against the system. That's what the hell it was. But Julio, I'm gonna give you the final commentary. We got two family members, brother Desmond Harrison and Josh in his bag. We're gonna bring them on behind you. But go ahead, Julio, for your final commentary, my friend.
Man, like not everything has to go to the coaches. A big part goes to the players as well.
Mhm.
We blew like 15 games. We were like 15 points ahead of the other team.
Yeah.
We were missing all our free throws at the end, and that's part of the process, man. Like Nikhil, like when he at the Portland game, he missed the 2 last free throws to win the game. Man, he's a young player. He's gonna miss those kind of free throws, and the same with Zion, man. He was getting turnovers via hero ball, but that's part of the process, man. And I think that with time, this will change, and we will start to be a winning team.
Well,
I agree with that, but it's still
ain't no buts, DC. You heard what Julio said.
Nah, yeah, everything he's saying is correct. Other than he was saying it ain't on coaching, but I feel like the coach is the representation of the end product out there, because we done seen so many times where we have teams. Look at Atlanta, you know what I'm saying? Where you have a coach out there,
that's
and
a
they
perfect
lose,
example,
and they
by the way.
losing, and then all they did was change the coach, and they
That's
start
all they
blowing
did.
the doors off of people. You know what I'm saying? So if you have talent,
Same with New York,
and the
change the
talent
coach.
doesn't turn to winning, but you know they have talent, the only reason they are not winning is coach and culture, and coach and culture go hand in hand.
You're right, but like Stan Van Gundy can't hit your free throws,
You're
That's
right.
true.
You're right.
True.
You're right. 100% right on that.
Well, thank you.
Appreciate you, Julio.
Yeah, nice having you here, man. Make sure you come back, brother.
Yeah, man. Have a great year. It's the end of the.
It's gonna be a lot better, man. It won't be so depressing next year, I promise.
Yeah, man. I will check out for the draft.
No doubt. No doubt.
All right, Julio. Thank you, brother. Thank you for your commentary, and go Pels to you, Julio. All right, that's Julio, man. Appreciate him chiming in. We got Desmond and Josh in his bag. We're gonna bring both of those brothers in at the same time for time constraint purposes. Brother Desmond, welcome to the show, and Josh in his bag, welcome to the show. Both of his family members, welcome on
Hello?
in.
What's
Hello?
up,
How you
fellas?
doing?
What's up?
What's
Y'all
good
hear
with
me?
it,
Can
fam?
y'all hear me?
Yep.
I'm
Yes,
good.
sir.
Oh,
Yes,
it's my
sir.
first time, so hey, I'm excited to talk, you know what I'm saying, Pelicans basketball with y'all, you know what I'm saying?
All right, all right.
Same to you, Josh. Appreciate you being
Yes,
here.
sir. Yes, sir.
Desmond, what's on your mind, bro?
You know that old song? How did we get here? Nobody's supposed to be here.
Right.
Our team shouldn't be here right now, and I just want to rant for a bit.
Thanks.
All right. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead. The floor is yours, my brother. Then we're gonna go to Josh.
All right. So with this team is suffering from 3 things: lack of intelligence, dysfunction, and lack of heart. The dysfunction is when your general manager is not allowed to make the team that he wants and not allowed to hire the coach, and you got the vice president who's not even supposed to be a part of basketball. He's not supposed to be making the basketball decisions and the roster decisions, making all the roster decisions. They might as well just made him the GM. The dysfunction is when you keep saying, Big Q, you better get out of here. But Stan Van Gundy won't say that to Eric Bledsoe.
You better get out of here. Ridiculous,
I
bro.
think he started every game. Every game.
Yeah.
It's
The only player on our team, I think, to start every game.
He wouldn't
The
give
worst one.
NAW one chance, bro. One game, he wouldn't give NAW a chance to start. That's crazy.
It's
So, I mean,
sad.
he had to give him a chance after a while. The injuries.
Cut it out, damage control.
Not, I say he was forced to give him a chance after injuries. I ain't
You
giving
still
him.
can't
when
put
he
KLJ
healthy,
in there, bro. Come on. Why
Oh,
KLJ?
I
For
thought he
Bled,
said NAW. My
I'm
bad.
saying KLJ, and as far as the Bledsoe point is, KLJ. I mean, he has a higher upside. You spent the first
young
round draft
guy,
pick on KLJ. No,
Right.
young guy, fast
19,
guy.
20.
Right.
I got 18 million reasons why he didn't.
But go
That
ahead.
was that Griffin
Desmond,
wasn't gonna have that player.
hold on just a second, DC. Desmond, go ahead and go on your rant, bro, and go ahead and do your thing, bro, because I won't stop you midstream, bro.
All right. So the second thing is lack of intelligence. Now, this is not only on the players, but it's also on the coaching. What did I say last time? 5 people off the bench. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's not that hard. But for some people, it is. And I've watched bad coaches. I started watching basketball with Luke Walton, terrible coach. Then I started watching Alvin Gentry, terrible coach. And now it's like 3 in a row. Bad things come in threes. And it's just ridiculous. This guy, he says build a wall like the basketball is the Mexican League. No, it's not. They don't guard the three-point line. They don't make their free throws. They turn the ball over a ridiculous amount of times. Now, that's the lack of intelligence on his part. Now, on the player's part, like you were saying, I know it is good for Lonzo to shoot 40%. That's great. But it's also good to shoot 80% when you can make layups, when you can go to the cup, because that's a higher percentage shot. And then Brandon Ingram, oh, man, I'm about to tear into him. First of all, I think he was sitting out. I think they both were shut down. Well, no, not Zion, but I think Brandon Ingram definitely could have played. But, they were trying to give him the excuse. But he didn't play that good this year. He choked against Portland, missed those free throws. He shot so many bad shots. His defense was atrocious, horrible. Backdoor cuts out the wazoo. It's insane. Oh, man. I mean, he has to get better next year. And then, what as I said, lack of heart. Oh, my God. So many people don't get back. Like, if you miss a layup or turn the ball over, why are you walking down the court when you're the reason they're scoring? And then the coach, all he does is, the coach. The coach is a pushover. When a player says, I was not paying attention and cost you the game, and he plays the next game.
Crazy.
This guy must be a zombie. No heart. I mean, it's ridiculous. The only heart we have is Josh, and his name isn't even spelled right. It's H-A-R-T. We don't have any real heart. No, that's all I got to say. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Desmond, well said, man. That's pretty funny.
That is, man. He hit so many key valid points too.
So did. Especially the one I like is the one he hit dealing with him telling him that Eric Bledsoe said I wasn't paying attention. And
bro, when I saw that cue, I was floored. I said, man, if we serious about going to the playoffs, after we just saw this, what Eric Bledsoe said, he got to sit Eric Bledsoe he got to come off the bench, bro.
What'd he do?
And that didn't happen. I said, oh shit, it's gonna be a rocky road to the end of this. There's certain things you can't.
That might
do.
work for Van Gundy. It looks like but that might work for Van Gundy though. But that might work for Van Gundy though,
what
fellas.
You mean? How?
Because he likes rocky roads. Go ahead, Josh. You go ahead.
The ice cream. Damn, cute.
That's a good one.
Go ahead, Josh. One of the questions I was gonna ask y'all was about that JJ Redick situation, because I don't know if y'all ever really got into it like that, but how y'all feel about that? Because the media, ESPN, when they was talking about it, they was trying to say oh, Zion gonna leave now. You know how they trying to make it a big deal. They want him to go to New York and stuff. You know what I'm saying? But how y'all think that's really gonna impact Zion? You know what I'm saying?
It's a narrative that the media wants to run with, and we've been saying this for the last 10 years. They want all the best players, the best possible players in the league in 4 teams. They just want them all piled up on like 4 teams, and we had these 4 teams compete for a championship. All they really care about is having a good Western and Eastern Conference final, and then the championship. Like, because they always promoting. It's not just us. We felt like they was picking on us. They did the same thing with Giannis. Look how that turned out. You know what I'm saying? They was beating us over the head with AD for so long. He let LeBron get in his ear, and he walked on up out of here. You had the same thing with KD. You know, they was talking about him leaving. Nobody wanted him to go to the Warriors, but they definitely wanted him to leave the Thunder. You know what I'm saying? They were talking about him going to the Knicks back then. LeBron in Cleveland, how many times they wanted him to leave? You know, and he finally went to Miami, then went back to Cleveland, then they wanted him to go to the Knicks and the Lakers and all. It's just a narrative that they always push, man. I wouldn't put too much on it. It's ultimately going to be on what Zion wants, and in my opinion, if he leaves, especially after we obtain some success and we start going to playoffs and all of that, and he still leaves, then once he got drafted on day one, he already had made his mind up. He was going to stay here and then leave.
Right.
I mean, only he knows. But in my opinion, Zion seemed kind of old school, man. I think he'll be a guy that doesn't kind of go the American route. He seemed to idolize like older players. And a big thing with older players, it was on loyalty and just you become basketball immortality. Just look at the guys that they stayed with one team and then they actually won those rings. It just seems like they have a higher esteem. People hold them in like for staying with their team and figuring out a way to win instead of having to go somewhere else and do all these other backflips. They just improve their game, let players come around, and they find a way to win. So I think Zion might go that route. And the whole JJ Redick thing, man, I mean, I know he talked to players. A lot of people go on his podcast and all of that. If this is your reason for not wanting to come here because some bullshit that he said, a guy who was here for a year and a half, you know what I'm saying? And then so be it, man. But he was on so much bullshit when he was here. He fell off a damn cliff. And he's still trying to talk like, he prime time. Like, you ain't that same dude. But, after feeling like you that guy for 17, 18 years, I get it. And I don't think he got that much pull like that where he could just pull all the goddamn free agents. Okay, we ain't getting Jimmy Butler. We ain't going to get Tim Hardaway Jr., who's on his podcast. Who's on the show that time? We ain't going to get Kevin Durant. All right.
Yeah.
They still got other players that ain't worrying about what the hell JJ Redick ass got to say.
He ain't doing nothing in Dallas right now. I was trying to look up some highlights, but I couldn't find nothing, bro. He ain't doing nothing right now.
He ain't doing nothing.
But
he ain't doing nothing.
Him
or Millie, they ain't doing nothing.
In his defense, a little bit. I mean, I kind of feel for him in a way because what he said wasn't wrong. Like, we all know David Griffin is a liar. So it's like at one point I gotta kind of be like, well, it ain't like he lying.
Wait,
I don't think we're a horrible
say,
organization, but we got a line as general manager slash VP.
Q?
2
tongues? You say he speak with 2 tongues?
Man who speaks with forked tongue.
Oh, forked tongue.
That's what we call that when the season started.
I said that. Creature.
We be calling this, bro. We be calling this stuff, man. And it like, man, I'll be like, man, this dude.
We was playing the gong music for him. Remember we was doing the old Sean Payton gong music for him?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's a liar. He's what he does. He sets up there and he made man, this dude did the press conference. I could only play a certain much of it.
Yeah, bro.
Today. He was making excuses.
Bro, the New York Knicks made the playoffs, man. Come on.
Right. Bro. Atlanta, bro. And there's too many, like, crystal clear examples, like you said, Josh. New York made the playoffs. That had happened in several years. Then you had the Atlanta Hawks, who were losing a sub-500 team, fired the coach, put Nate McMillan in there, and they went on to like a 10-game winning streak.
The same coach that was in our top 3 of coaches to get.
I mean, bro, because you watch enough basketball, you know who has the gift. Like you have as a former player coach who has the gift to communicate to the players. They believe in them not because it's just a sustained success, but if you can communicate your principles and get the players excited about how you see their talents fitting into your scheme, then you can make it work. And then the scheme is alive. It can't be something dead, which he's like in his head is we're going to do this and no. What you need to do is utilize their best assets and then put into your scheme, and then have that thing alive and have it
Well,
evolve.
that's Van Gundy said he builds the scheme around the players.
He ain't
That's
building
what he
nothing.
said.
He ain't building nothing but a
That's
bunch
what the
of
man
junk.
said, Q.
Yeah, but we say a lot, as you can see.
COVID.
But what is he doing? It's nothing. He's not. There was nothing. We was 10 games under
He's eating.
500, and we finished. Yeah, he definitely eating. We finished the last 4 games.
The
We went on.
gumbo.
Right, bro. We finished the season on a 4-game losing streak. We were 10 games under 500. We could not even when the Stars were playing, I won't even let them use injuries, because when the Stars were playing, they were still out there turning in, losing, bottoming out when they were up 15, 20-point leads in the game, and they come back and
Ridiculous,
lose the
man.
game by 5 to 10 points. Like, how the hell did that happen?
Hell.
You know, and then he sees Van Gundy sitting up there yelling, because listen, he didn't just sit on the bench like Elvin Gentry after he had a couple of sips. He actually was up there yelling and pointing and yelling and pointing and yelling. He was very active in what he was doing. So it's not like like with Gentry, you've seen Gentry sit down here and every now and again get up there and start picking at the referee up and down the court after he missed the call. And he's still talking to him about a call
with his hands on his
hips. like he a misshapen chicken pecking at the man. He's like, man, come on, bro. But Van Gundy didn't do that. Van Gundy was actually engaging, coaching. They just wasn't listening because they don't believe in what the man's saying. Now
He too old, bro. He too old, bro.
You know what? Lionel Hollins, DC, remember we talked about that. Lionel Hollins, if you brought Lionel Hollins on this team and made him your coach.
They wanted a gritty, tough team. That would have been the coach. Man.
Lionel Hollins, you put Lionel Hollins would have had this team winning.
I kept saying get Lionel Hollins.
Because Lionel Hollins is the type of coach, you're old school coach, you with the Lakers now. He used to be he was the original coach for the grit and grind Memphis team before they moved in the other guy. They got rid of him because he had Lionel Hollins is a real dude. So he had a conflict with the owner or the general manager, the owner of the team, and then they let him go and they brought in Dave Yeager. And then after Yeager, they brought in some other people. But the grit and grind was Lionel Hollins. He put that style in Memphis. Imagine the grit and grind in the Pelican nation.
We should have got that. The old Nets head coach, Kenny Atkinson. That's his name, I think.
Kenny Atkinson.
Yeah. That was another dude we threw in there.
He would have
really wanted him.
I don't think he would have been better than Nate McMillan or Lionel though. But
he would have been in the stand though.
And
he would have had that connection with you know what I'm saying?
Our guards would have been a lot better under Atkinson for sure.
Well, Trajan Langdon, that might have been a sensible hire for like Trajan Langdon as well. That goes back to that
the GM though.
Right, exactly. You know,
the real GM.
Well, you see who the real GM because you didn't hear Trajan Langdon. Everybody had end of season press conferences. Everybody, even the last man on the roster, James Nunnerly, got some screen time, but not Trajan Langdon. Everybody but Langdon. Don't you find that a little bit?
He need to talk more, man. Like
he got. That's why he got us. We his translator.
All guys don't talk. Fall guys fall, man. Nobody won't see the stunt man. You know, that's David Griffin's stunt man. So if David Griffin make all these moves, because
stunt man,
he's a stunt man. He's a stunt man.
I thought he was his hostage.
No. He's a stunt man.
He held hostage. He got his hands tied up and all.
No. He's David Griffin's stunt man because listen, he's the fall guy. What happens is this coach, that's not and I know y'all know this is not Trajan Langdon's coach.
Definitely not.
That's Griffin's coach. That's Griffin's coach. So now, if you're the general manager, you know you don't have no power. You know you're a weakling and a pushover and made a cardboard when somebody pick your coach for you, and then when the coach fail, you ain't nowhere to be found on press conferences. And when you do pop up, it's for 3 or 4 minutes. They might ask you 1 or 2 questions, and then they leap over you and start asking questions of David Griffin. Even the media know to ask the guy the question because the plan is not even Langdon, it's Griffin. So what is Langdon's role with the team is the
Griffin,
question.
The GM.
Right. They call him the general, and they're not lying about it.
Pelicans GM you're gonna see David Griffin.
If you ask anybody in the NBA who not a Pelicans fan, matter of fact, you can ask some Pelicans fans who the general manager of the Pelicans are. They're gonna say David Griffin.
And why would they get that analysis? Because David Griffin is always talking in place where Langdon's supposed to be. The truth and the functional behavior, and this is the key things for the end of the season. I'm gonna turn the floors over to both Josh and Desmond for their final points before we close the stream. But this is for the end of the season show. This is my concerns for this team moving forward. Seriously speaking, the general manager situation that's really dysfunctional because what he's doing is, and I'm gonna just keep it real, Langdon. If you went to Duke, you're supposed to have all this intelligence. Maybe you book smart, not street smart, and that happens. But let me tell you something. You a fall guy. This team fails, they're going to fire your ass behind it. That's why he was trying to sneak out the door to Sacramento before you got talked back. They're not letting you pick your coach. They're not letting you pick your players. You're being set up to fail. So if this team fails, you're going to be fired. You're going to be out the door, and they're going to pick somebody else to put in that position. It's a brace for David Griffin because David Griffin's a snake. I've been saying that. He's a snake. Now, outside of that, he comes and make all these excuses, which is very bad for a general manager to come out and talk about restrictions and C-19, all this, when there are several dozen teams in the playoffs right now who dealt with the same restrictions and limitations as the Pelicans. Same everything. No different. Same everything. And they succeeded where you failed. So you can't use that as an excuse. Then we talk about the talent. The talent won't mean nothing unless they resolve the situation with the general manager fiddling around with the team, because I don't know what the vision is of what this team is. And the players feel it, the dysfunction, which is translating into improper play on the court, which means they're not engaging with the coach. The coach is not the coach is overbearing. DC, do stand Van Gundy's voice like you did the other day. Let me give y'all a brief breakdown. That pissed me off to listen to it for a few seconds. DC Duke Van Gundy's voice, you did it real good. This is what's yelling at you every night and in practices and games. Go ahead, DC. Go ahead.
Come on, guys. We got to get it together. We got to go out there and build a fucking wall. All right. I know things aren't in our favor, but if we just play defense and get back, we got to get back. Come on, guys.
Isn't that annoying? Isn't that annoying? That
breath
pissed me
stink
off.
too, man.
Right, breath stinking, spitting. You know what I'm saying?
You know what's really annoying? Big Q, your analysis of me it is terrible. It is totally mind-numbing. I just don't understand how you think I'm doing all of this by myself. Trajan and I sit down and make all of these scenarios up.
You ain't supposed to be in the picture, man that speak with forked tongue.
Well,
you're not even supposed to be in the picture, bro. Bottom line, that's Langdon's team. He's supposed to run it the way he see fit.
Trajan is
He's a fall guy. He's a fall guy. He's a stunt man for David Griffin. David Griffin jump out the window, Trajan Lane to get hurt.
Big Q,
David Griffin dropped his car into a brick wall, Trajan Lane to get hurt.
I see where this is going.
You know what I'm saying? Everything that he never gets a hurt, he never gets anything because Langdon is a fall guy. I'm telling y'all that. That man brought that man on here. He a goddamn fall guy. Why else would he not be at the press conference? He's the general manager. Explain that to me.
You gotta
trying
speak
to explain
at the end
it
of
to
the
you,
season too.
How y'all make that make sense to me that you're the general manager and you don't have a press conference at the end? Everybody, the damn janitor at the press conference, everybody at the press conference. But you mean to tell me Langdon isn't? Come on,
suspect, bro.
Trajan Langdon is a professional yodeler, Big Q.
Oh my goodness!
And his voice was really hoarse from the last situation that he had over there in Canada. So it was up to me and the staff to decide the best course of action, and we decided that Trajan should speak.
He shouldn't speak. He shouldn't make any decisions.
We gave him lozenges.
Shouldn't pick his own coach.
Lemons with hot water. And his voice would just, it ain't gonna every work. Time he spoke, Big Q, it was just completely mind-numbing. I couldn't deal with it. And we decided to go another direction.
Listen, I'm gonna just keep it real with the flock. I'm gonna keep it real. It's a lot of dysfunction here. I don't like this. And I was looking at this stuff and I was like, man, this is very weird. And if there's some stuff, because Griffin too busy making excuses of why they're failing, I have low confidence in that guy to be able to fix what's really going on, which is the communication issues with the players to the coach. The only way you can do that is to force the coach to come up with a new communication style to reach them, to be more aggressatory to them, or fire the head coach and find somebody that can communicate with the players. Now, is Griffin really willing to take that step? I don't think so, because it makes him look bad that he's fired two coaches within 2 years.
And
so
that's
go
bad
ahead,
for
Josh.
like Zion and like
I know.
Cause Zion would have 3 coaches, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not good, bro. That's not good.
I know.
That's
That's
another
really not
reason I think
good, bro.
we gotta thug it out, man.
We do. We gotta give him at least
Van
1
Gundy
more
is
year.
as much as we tan him up, and we got all these things that we that we disagree with. You know what I'm saying? He he could be a lot worse. There are a lot worse coaches than Van Gundy, and like you said, man, you don't want to have a guy that's young in the first 3 years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're gonna have 2 coaches. God forbid Brandon Ingram and Josh Harden and Paul Lonzo Ball, them guys ain't never had 2 seasons with the same coach damn near. You know what I'm
For
saying?
real, bro.
Like we even for the sake of consistency, they can't fire Van Gundy this year. Like they gotta give him a year and see what it looks like. If it looks completely horrible next year, shit, you better fire him and go get the best damn coach that money could
Yeah,
buy. It
but
might be a dollar.
But
That's
what
why it
y'all
was
It
such a
ain't a
bad
dollar
do
move.
short though.
though? What y'all think? Like, we need to make the playoffs, obviously, but like
I
what's the
wanted Mark Jackson if we talking about coaches.
go
Oh,
ahead, Josh. What you was gonna say?
no, I'm saying, like, what do you think Stan Van Gundy like needs to do to like make, because we're mad at Stan right now, you know what I'm saying? We want him out. What would
right.
make, like, will we be like, we the 6th seed, y'all would be like, okay, we good, like, you good, Stan. You know what I'm saying? I think
Com-
if we're like the 7th seed, then like he's good. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're
I
like,
mean,
okay, Stan. You know what I'm saying? You
I
good.
mean,
You
I
kind
want
of
him in.
made up for it a little bit.
I want the 6. I want at least that's at least because I think we got 6 top level talent. Like far as the team we got, and what I really want to see is creativity out of the team. Far as offensively, I want them to have a flow because offensively we look clogged and discombobulated, and I think Stan Van Gundy has a lot to do with that. We know he does because last year the one thing they didn't have a problem with was offense. The Pelicans would score on your ass, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that was with Zion gone. It was still scoring, even though it was the Alvin Gentry
Running up and down the
7 seconds
court.
or less, but
Yeah.
still, they were able to score. And you have to take some of those things that they did and allow them to run up and down the floor and do some of that probably with a little more structure and give them creativity to be able to utilize what they do better because they obviously Brandon Ingram, I feel like speaking for all of them, they felt like they were underutilized. Josh Hart didn't like his role this year. Lonzo Ball didn't like his role. And Brandon Ingram is obviously speaking up for them too, and probably other guys that we know that didn't like their role. I'm sure KLJ didn't really like his role. They took him away from everything that he really does well. Like you supposed to put him on the ball and be running pick and rolls with him, you know, when he out there, allowing him to attack the basket. We had him stand up shooting like he's a replacement for Lonzo Ball. To mention, which is somebody who, yeah, you have him catch and shoot sometimes, but that shouldn't be the main recipe to his game. Some of that is his fault too. But the whole thing with Stan Van Gundy to me that I think pisses everybody off is the way they go about offense and how he probably cuts certain things off that they like to do based on his philosophy on them not turning the ball over. Because that's really what I feel like he idled the offense down to like stop them from creating turnovers because he might have had a period where he was letting them do what they wanted a little bit and it was turning the ball over too much. So he went to fundamentals and we're gonna do these pass offs at the top of the key all the time and y'all control the ball.
What'd you say, Q? Like, what C we need to be for his job to be like safe?
Communicate better, bro. I mean, that's the main thing with him. And I mean, I say get in the playoffs, period. Whether the lowest seed possible, get in the playoffs. That's the bottom line. Get in the playoffs, get him a taste, and you can build on that. That's why I was kind of rampant at him to get it together this year, you know. But I think communication is really the issue. Communication is key, man. You know, you can have all the talent in the world if you're not communicating what you want them to do, and they're not listening to what you want them to do. And it's the dysfunction that you're going to continue to have these issues. I mean, they cannot play defense consistently, and they're too good for that. They don't respect the ball. They turn the ball over a lot. You know, they don't hit. They terrible shooting the free throw, and there's nobody in front of you to stop you from shooting free throws. I mean, come on, that's just you and the damn basket. You know, it's not a hand waving in your face. So, I mean, they were porous there. There were several games that we lost at the charity line. Just on charity stripe. A few games here or there. You hit the charity stripe points, you win the game. So the fundamental things we suck on, and I know the man preaching fundamentals, they're not listening. There's a communication breakdown between the coach and the players. That can they fix this next year is my issue. Where they're not even recognizing it's a fundamental, it's a communication issue. They keep pushing it toward talent. It's not a talent thing. It's a
Plenty of
communication.
talent.
You got talent everywhere. I mean, you got
We're
first
way
round
better than the Spurs that was just playing in
better than the
Grizzlies.
Grizzlies.
Come on, bro.
You better than the Grizzlies, right? Come on,
better than a
Way
lot of
better.
teams.
all
man.
those teams. But the talent, you have several first round draft picks. You got Zion freaking Williams on your team. You got NAW. You got several first round draft picks. You got two guys that played at all-star level. Lonzo playing really great basketball as well. Steven Adams was helping out. You seen the emergence of Billy Hernan Gomez, solid veteran play. Guys like
Jackson
James
Hayes
Johnson,
was playing good.
Jackson
at
Hayes
the
stepping
end.
up. KLJ was doing his thing when he got the minutes, when he was allowed to do it. So, like I'm
Wayne
saying,
Gabriel was looking good too, man. We should have been playing him, bro.
I'm just saying, bro, we were saying that the whole way. Developing the bench, that's a part of it. None of that materialized. But people going to say we didn't have enough time. We didn't have enough time. You had that goddamn 72 goddamn games. What you talking about you don't have enough time? You have all the talent in the world. It's not a talent thing. It's a communication thing. His skill, his scheme, and his whatever he's teaching them, they're not believing in it and they're not practicing it.
Well,
that's
that-
when it's coming down.
that
So
go-
so is that going to change because he gets extra time to do it when he had enough time to install? They're not playing defense. They can't hit free throws. I mean, come on, that's fundamental. So it gets better a year later when they're not even recognizing that there's a communication breakdown because this fucking general manager making excuses all the time about COVID. Man, that's why I'm talking about. If you can't keep it real with the family members in yourself, then how you supposed to fix the problems that's in front of you? You got to recognize the problems and fix them as opposed to cover them up with excuses and excuse letting. The team failed because the coach could not communicate what he wanted to do with the players that he was talking to. He couldn't do it, whether they turned him off or whether he wasn't
You
speaking
don't
their
think
language.
they needed a veteran to do that? That was what I always
He had a
thought.
vet-
They needed a
had
veteran.
veterans. They had veterans.
Wait. You needed a veteran that
What veteran?
everybody in that locker room respected, like a veteran that
we need a
accomplished something,
leader,
a guy
bro.
who's been to an all-star game. You know what I'm saying? A guy who done something. We
That would've helped.
needed a quality veteran player that brought into that brought into Stan Van Gundy's system. If we had, for the lack of a better name, I don't know who would buy into the system because a lot of veterans say they don't particularly like his system. But let's say if we had Dwayne Wade peeled back 4 or 5 years, he 30 years old, 29 or something, and guys looking up to him and respecting him, you don't think it would be different? Because you have somebody there that can communicate with them on their level and kind of bridge that gap to convey his system.
Maybe I'm old school. I'm paying you a lot of money. And most of these guys, the majority of these guys that's on this team, they are winners. They come from winning programs, whether it was in college. Right. You know, I mean, come on. They had Coach K as their coach. They know about winning. They know about fundamentalism. They know about playing defense. Right. You know, they were blue chip prospects. So what I'm saying is that might be a point that if you'd have had a guy that could kind of bring him on and you could talk all this kind of old stuff to him and look, you got to listen to Stan Van Gundy. You do realize he's the coach of the team, right? We need to be listening to Coach Van. We need to be shooting free throws right now for real, bro.
I don't think they're gonna listen if it sounds like that.
No, we need to be pounding. We need to be shooting free. Want me to speed it up? Would it sound better? We need to be shooting free throws right now. We need to be doing this.
Man, can you take the bird droppings out your mouth when you say that?
No, that's what it sounds like to me when I hear a guy saying that to Zion and BI and he a goddamn bench warmer. You ain't gonna listen to Zion and BI gonna listen to him.
I'm not saying a bench warmer, Q. I'm talking about a guy who's well accomplished.
No damage control. No, cut it out.
Ain't a guy who's well accomplished, dude.
Cut it out. No. What guy you talking about well accomplished that they gonna listen to?
I just gave you an example of a
Cam
player
because
I don't because I don't know who buys into Van Gundy's system. So I use D Wade as an example. Like if D Wade at 30, not D Wade today, D Wade at 30. If we had a guy like that, you know, somebody who's been to some All-Star games, somebody who won a championship,
it possibly could help DC. But I'm saying though, that if the principles are solid and sound, you don't need an interpreter for it to go through. I'm saying if the is basketball lingo, they don't believe in this man, is what I'm saying. You would turn, why else would you close your ears to somebody unless you didn't believe in the message?
I mean, you need the players to lead while they're out on the court, Q. So I think we have as big of a leadership problem too.
Well, but
as that message.
But I'm saying that's why I'm saying
you just need that one leader to buy in, and he'll get the rest of the players.
You sitting in the he's sitting in the damn meeting with Zion and Bi. These are money guys. He's trying to create
23 though.
But regardless, I mean, you have Eric Bledsoe, who's a guy he left on the floor plenty of times.
I guess he was the guy. He probably was the guy I'm talking about.
That's the guy that been in the playoffs.
That's who they chose
to be the leader.
That's it, Q. That's the guy they were supposed to respect and who they chose.
How did that work out for you?
Dang, it didn't work out good.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, listen, it's not. I'm simply not recruiting the players a responsibility. But the thing is, if we're gonna keep it real and fix the problems, because we have problems, we got a dysfunctional administrative system that the general manager is basically invisible. He doesn't do a press conference at the end of the year.
He do,
and even if you, and I'm just saying, look at the optics of this. If the general manager is invisible, then a lot, and he's not even speaking at the end of the season press conference. When you see Griffin up there making excuses, then what else is he not doing? If he can't make the press conference, what else are you doing? I'm saying that Griffin is strong on him on different moves. You can't tell me that SVG was Tranger Langdon's man. Tranger Langdon's man was Will Weaver.
Weaver.
Weaver was his man. And how you know that, Q? I know this shit because I do my research. I do my business to make sure I know what the hell I'm talking for before I get up here and start running off on this mic. And you could do it too and find out that research for yourself. Will Weaver was his man. Where's Weaver?
Yeah.
Weaver is in Houston as a backup coach there in Houston. And the thing is, I was like, okay, if you get SVG, at least get Will Weaver. At least when SVG fails or he gets old and needs to move out the way, Weaver can step in and take the team. Did they do that? No.
Couldn't even do that.
Couldn't even give him that. So I'm saying, how much power does Griffin have as a general manager when he can't even get his guy as an assistant to the guy that your boss picked? So I'm saying, I'm questioning that. And then at the same time, I'm questioning whether or not people are recognizing the fact that the team's not responding to Van Gundy. They're not listening to because they don't believe in him. And Van Gundy's messages is falling on deaf ears because he's ineffective. The game, and to many degrees, the game has passed them by. That's why a lot of the players are not listening to him. And it's not just your role players now. Zion, Bi are guilty of tuning them out too. Because it like the game dies at points. He over-relied on Eric Bledsoe to a fault, didn't get the young guys an opportunity, set the young guys on the bench for a long-ass time during the season before they got an opportunity to play. He never developed the five off the bench. He kept staggering minutes and overplaying Zion and Bi in matchups when you didn't have to do that, when you had Najee Marshall on the bench to come off or William Gabriel on the bench. How many games we watched William Gabriel? 30-plus games? Billy Hernan-Gomez sitting on the damn bench? Forever.
Cause I'm like, been saying this. Like, been saying like, put them on.
Put them on. Come on. But you didn't know about that. No, we're gonna go with that. We're gonna go with that.
They finally found a three center lineup. They ran a three and it worked like a charm. And we've never seen it again. They start playing Jackson Hayes at the power forward and just completely went away from all.
Went away from it. But that's what I'm saying. It's like, okay, the game to a degree, because the man, you got to remember, the man, this was bull crap. He should have never been the first option. He was sitting on the, even Skip Skeletor Bayless said this. He said, how the hell did the Van Gundys become, these guys were sitting on the broadcast booth for years. And then they front runners for the,
out of nowhere too, bro.
Out of nowhere. Come on, bro. So I'm saying Van Gundy has the information and the knowledge, but what good is that having all of that basketball high IQ if you can't translate it, communicate it to the players? It's of no use. But anyway, Josh, I'm gonna give you the flow for your last commentary, and then Desmond, I'm gonna give you the flow for yours, and we're gonna end the stream. Go ahead, Josh. It's on you, bro.
Well, I think Langdon, he need to talk more. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the things he need to work on. He need to improve on his communication. He need to talk more. With Stan. But yeah, that's all I want to talk about. I appreciate what you guys do. You know what I'm saying?
Appreciate
Always,
you too, man.
you know what I'm saying, doing streams after, you know what I'm saying, we get blown out, you know what I'm saying, y'all still streaming. And you know what I'm saying, I appreciate that. You know, I appreciate you guys always, you know, just making me and the family laugh, you know what I'm saying? Y'all be making fun of each other, you know what I'm saying? You know, so I appreciate that. And, you know what I'm saying? I appreciate the advice y'all give too. You know what I'm saying? I'm a youngin', you know what I'm saying? I'm 17. And, like, you know, I appreciate the advice, the positive stuff you guys talk about, man. I really listen to that, man. And, yeah, I just appreciate everything you guys do. So that's all I want to say. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you, Josh.
Thank you, brother.
Appreciate you too, my brother. Much love to you. And thank you for your support, man, and being here and doing the things you do, bro. You're a member of the
Oh,
flock, and much love to everything in
and I
what's
want
going
to
on.
say shout out to the flocking flockers. Shout out to y'all, bro. Shout
All
out to
you
the family,
flogging
bro.
flockers.
Shout out to y'all, bro. Can't forget about the family.
Yeah, man. Wouldn't be much of a show without you, Josh, and without them flockers, boy. We need y'all. We love y'all up here. And we be cutting up, laughing and joking, man. A lot of this come from, for me personally, reading the comments, bro. I don't know how many times. I don't always laugh, but boy, y'all be killing me in that comment section. They have at least a good 5 to 6 gems in there every night, bro. They consistent too.
All right. Appreciate you, Josh, and much love to you, fam.
Yes, sir. All right.
All right, brother.
All right. Desmond, are you still there, bro?
I'm there. I'm here.
All right, Desmond, the floor is yours, my brother, for final word, bro.
All right. I just want to, thank the show because I was looking for like a Pelican, people who review it every game. So,
Right.
this has been awesome. I don't usually catch the streams. I watch it when I wake up. But yeah, I mean, you guys are doing good work. You guys don't BS. You keep it real. A lot of people, they like to fake and, they like to, oh no, it's the best team ever. No, you guys keep it real. And I respect that. About the team, when you have, what is it, a director who looks like he should have been a politician, a GM who looks like he should have been a stunt double, and a coach who looks like he should be at Denny's all the time, it's no wonder you're going to lose all the time. And that's why it's so frustrating because they should have fired Gentry. This all started when they didn't fire Gentry. They wasted a year. Now they wasted another year. And if this guy sucks, it's going to be 3 years wasted. 3 years. And that's going to catch up to them. So I just, they better pray that this guy gets it together. Because if they don't, I mean, they're going to lose Zion and they're going to lose their jobs. So, and the Pelicans are going to lose games. So everyone's going to lose. So that's really all I want to say. It's been a great time. And I'll see y'all at the draft.
See you at the
All right.
draft,
Thank you,
brother.
brother Desmond. Appreciate you, bro. And go Pelicans to you, my friend. Much love to you, brother Desmond. Thank you.
Bird gang.
Thank you, brother. That's brother Desmond, man, chiming in. Hey, listen, family, I'd like to thank all of you fantastic family members. 2 hours on the end of the season stream. It didn't quite end the way we wanted it to. The Pelicans fall woefully short of the playoff chase. We are headed toward the lottery. Willie is getting his wish that we are headed toward the
Hey, trash.
we headed toward the lottery. So there you go. So, I mean, with that being said, fam, we'll be still doing the Pelican commentary. It won't be our regular traditional, every 2 days streams, but, we will be doing a Pelican show, at least one Pelican show a week, as opposed to 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 of them a month, something like that. Anyway, something like that. I don't know. It's something like that, something crazy like that. But I mean, still in all, we'll be doing at least one show a week covering all the latest stuff with the Pelicans. So y'all hit the notification bells. We'll take a little hiatus, but like I say, one show a week will pop up to have a conversation with the flock, man. So y'all don't keep your heads up. We keeping it real, fam. That's the only way we can fix the problems is we keep it real. We do have optimism in the team. I am very optimistic about the talent of the team. I really do. It's just certain other areas I must see. I really need to see what they're going to do with other areas before. We're gonna see, man. We're gonna see. It's a long way to go, man. We're gonna see. All right, DC. Go ahead with your thoughts, DC.
Man, it's been a long season, and I told y'all in the beginning it was gonna be a roller coaster ride. And God, I'd be goddamn if they didn't disappoint. But we had all type of loops and flip-de doos and twisties, and all type of stuff went on. And now it's on to the lottery, man. But really enjoyed coming in here every night and being with the family, man. Watching some of these depressing ass games and then getting here with y'all, kind of raise your spirit a little bit. We're able to talk about it and discuss what happened and celebrate when things went good, man. So really happy to be here with the flock. Enjoyed this season. Wish it could have ended better. I wish, if not me or Big Q, one of y'all could have been the goddamn GM. You know what I'm saying? Pretty sure things would have went different because, man, we got so much talent. And the future's still bright. The future's still bright, family. Maybe they can turn this around. Obviously, this isn't the championship situation that David Griffin keeps speaking of at this moment right now, but I do think we could turn this around with what we got right now and basically be in the playoffs next year. So looking forward to that. We leaving, but we ain't really leaving because, like Big Q say, we're gonna be here once a week, dropping some content on y'all, letting y'all know what's up with the Pelicans and what we've been catching up, what we've been peeping, basically that week. So I don't know how. Mo. Please enlighten me, brother, so I can fix the error of my ways.
Yeah, we'll definitely do one show a week. So, family, with that being said, we're gonna clock out on that. Man, it's been fun, been frustrating, but fun nonetheless. Covering it, like I said, I definitely wish we was doing the playoffs. I don't know, Damon. Damon asked the question: do we still covering the playoffs?
We
I
can
don't.
mention it on our weekly show. We kind of
Yeah,
mention it a
yeah.
little bit.
Like I said, my brother, I don't know if we're gonna do that. After that, I don't know. But like I said, we'll still be doing like our regular 1 week show. We might, like we said, the DC we might make mention of it on the shows. We still talk about more of the Pelican stuff. So, with that being said, though, I appreciate each and every last one of you guys, the flock, for being here. Much love to you guys. Always a pleasure and honor to sit before the flock. DC, another great season. I don't know how many seasons it's been, but it's been quite a few seasons that we've
we got at least.
covered.
I know it's less than the Saints, but we have at least 5, right? I say 4
I
or
think it's
5.
about five or so. Yeah, maybe five seasons of the Pelican Talk, man. As we keep on going, another full season here. So, I mean, with that being said, we're gonna clock out on that. DC, guess what? You got the phrase that pays.
Oh, I thought Miss Benson was closing it out.
She's she upset.
She upset with who?
She upset with the Pelicans.
She not upset with David Griffin because she should be upset with his ass because I know he be telling her all type of shit.
She's
we
upset.
only hear the half of it.
She upset. Too upset, bro.
Yeah, well, the Saints gonna cheer up.
She cussing, bro. She
cussing. Miss Benson cussing.
Cussing.
I ain't never heard her cuss.
She was cussing.
Oh, it's bad.
Yeah, she was cussing.
Well, maybe that's gonna force us to get things right because you know what happened when Mr. Benson got the cussing. People got fired and shit.
Yeah,
it is his wife.
Right. He said he pick one with fire in a vein. So there it is. Well, go ahead, DC. You the man.
All right. Well, look, we know things ain't go the way we wanted them to. We know that we talented. We know goddamn well based on talent, we should have been at least a 6 seed, 7 seed, somewhere around there. We should still be playing. Well, Zion said he's disappointed. Brandon Ingram sounded like he disappointed. We ain't play Lonzo Ball, but even amidst all this disappointment, he said he won't come back. David Griffin then lied to us. Trajan Langdon still running around not telling us shit. But in the midst of all of that, this still our team. And we diehards and we here for them. So when they run up on you talking shit about your Pelicans, you politely tell them in whatever accent you choose, because it's the off season now. Get the flock out of here. and go flock yourself.
It don't matter. In any accent you want to tell them in.
All season, baby. You get spicy with it.
All right, fam. Appreciate y'all, man. Much love to the flock, man. We'll be back with another stream later on, and it'll probably be next week. We'll still be talking Pelicans. We'll go over the latest news and notes. We'll go over the depth chart and analysis as well. So with that being said, we're going to tip out on that. Appreciate y'all. Another fantastic and complete full season of Pelican Talk handled by your Pelican Postgame Report. So we're going to tip out on that. Much love to the fam. Please hit the like button if you hadn't hit the like button. Subscribe if you aren't a subscriber, and communicate in the comment section on how you would fix the team. All right, fam. So with that being said, we're going to tip out on that.
That sounds like the next show, Big Q. We need to let the family come in who ain't had a chance to speak tonight and talk about how they would fix the team. And we could say what we think as well.
There you go. So you heard what Bob Marley Jr. said. Y'all get on there and do that there and comment in the comment section on how you would fix the team, and we'll go from there. All right, family, much love to y'all, and we'll see y'all later. Go Pels.
You're listening to the Pelicans postgame report